opened it before launching the stream, so it was the wrong one. So Killian was talking, like, I saw it after.
I know.
He was talking to us like for an hour.
He's there by himself.
Sorry, Killian. Okay.
Dude, these cats are so fucking cool. I've been looking at photos. Like, there's so many different types of skin that they have. Very interesting.
Yeah. That's cool. Oh. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Chat. Okay, right.
I hate this light. I'm gonna change it. I can't see shit.
Which light?
This setting right now.
Oh, it's very dark, right?
Yeah, but look, I tried to load the light. It's not. It doesn't change much. Now.
You can change, I think,
Now I
the
have
intensity.
Yeah, I changed the intensity, but it's not moving anything. So distance is working. Look, distance is working. I don't know why. It
I
doesn't.
don't know shit about that. I'll be right back in 1 sec.
Oh, dude, tell Killian to come.
Yeah, Killian. Killian. To go on Facebook.
So I made this thing without using the symmetry.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my god, dude. Oh shit, it's hard.
Well, you could start with symmetry on. And then,
Well, I did the
the
binding. Like I started with binding, so I could do like a. So the proportions would be there,
yeah.
But yeah, after it's very early on, it was already post.
Well, it's cool though. It's good because you're practicing all that instead of just.
It feels more legit though when you do it like that. It feels like like you're really. I don't know. It feels like you're really sculpting.
You're actually sculpting it.
I don't know what to do with the eyes. If to make them like white or black, or even paint them, like give them pupils. I tried giving them pupils. It's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Just look. It's true that it has more expression in it. Oh, I didn't know that this thing saves the steps of each object.
Everything.
Separately. So if I move to one eye, I have a different history bar.
Yeah. I understand how you can save all of that.
I delete it all the time. Like whenever I like whatever I'm doing, I just delete the history.
I know you can also limit the number of steps that it saves.
Yeah.
Like 40, 20.
I guess I should just instead of painting the eyes, just sculpt them, like really.
Oh yeah.
Do the I don't get these fucking cats. Some of them have like their pupils can open change so much so drastically from from different lights. Look at this. Here is like super close. Here,
Yeah.
look at this one, dude. Fucking alien.
It's super open.
Oh shit, this is awesome. I didn't see this one.
It's exactly what the reference you need.
They really look like a ZBrush model. That's why I chose it, because I was like, this they already look like a ZBrush model.
Yeah, I just have to copy that.
Yeah.
Cool. What's going on? Scrolling.
Wait, my wife. Let me mute this. Fucking shit. Yo, 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 yo. What's up, party people?
But
Oh, I seen people that they make ice. So they have this sphere, right? They oof, what did they do? They do the concave thing, right? The whole thing. No, first they duplicate the sphere. They do the hole in one of them, and then the other one they change it to like a transparent material. So
oh,
it's the same size, right? Mm. Yeah, but that's too much. I don't know how to change materials in between. Like here in ZBrush, how do I like make the skin, the guy, one material, and then the gun, another material? Is that even possible?
I'm sure it is. Can't you when you
Right
are
now,
used?
everything is the same material.
Okay. Wait. Uh, Actually, I'm not sure. If you change the subtool and you just click a different shader, then it still does it for everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, you'd have to Google. I'll help you, man. Find that kind of shit on Google really quick.
All right. Is Killian coming or?
I have no idea. I sent him a message, but maybe he hates us now because we didn't answer last time.
I hate this plasticky look. Like you see, I guess it looks like
Okay, so you want less, maybe less
that's
reflections or
that's
diffuse.
shiny. Shiny.
Can't you just change that in the materials? Not really sure.
Yeah, but then I lose depth also. Like
But then it's like in the render.
yeah, no, later I guess. Yeah, I'll have to do it later.
Yeah, for sculpting. I don't know. There's already a few shaders that you can change. Did you find any that kind of worked?
I don't know. This one sucks. This one's shit. This one's horrible. This one's dark.
Go back. There's one that I liked. It's called Skin something. Like a
White skin,
gray.
skin shade.
Skin something 4. I think I used back then. No, not that.
That's skin shade 4.
Oh yeah. Fuck.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
it
really
wasn't.
cool for like spaceships.
No, it wasn't that. It was that. It's just a mistake.
The fuck? Why is everything? Oh, I think I know. You see, the light here is like,
Too strong.
yeah, it's stupid. Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
It
it's
was, it
still
was.
very, it's like super reflective.
No, no, yeah, no. I mean, the light before it was like set to be behind the ball, so it's like a rim light kind of thing.
Mm.
Let me see now. If I can, if I change the material, it should be. It should be better. Skin shade 4. Oh, yeah, it's not bad.
You also have your poly paint. You might like want to just get rid of the poly paint for now
Yeah,
and
yeah. Alright.
just sculpt.
The poly paint. How do I get rid of the poly paint? I don't want to have to paint it again later.
Oh, just make it invisible or something.
I don't know. Is that like an option here or something? Dude, that's too inside. I don't know. It's fine though. I don't mind rendering over the thing. That it's I can see. It's just. What if I just? Oh fuck. Yeah. No. The thing is, I wouldn't know how to paint later. All this stuff like um, properly. You know.
What to paint? What do you mean paint? In with the poly paint?
Yeah. This. You know, like to paint this. How to like
Okay.
make it neat.
Well, I don't think you need like to
What the
go that
fuck
far.
is this shit?
For like all the metal shit, you can just render it as metal in the rendering software that you use. So,
Yeah, but the thing is, this is not even like a different layer, like a different thing. That's just the same
well, then you have
object.
to cut it out.
Fuck. Right, right.
You can select, remember, like select it and then delete or split or something like that.
Yeah.
Wait,
Shit.
there's always a way in 3D, man.
All right, I'll paint this shit later. I'll just make everything white. Fuck. Fuck.
That's funny.
Thing is, I also like sometimes the thing when you export this shit to what is it called, key shot. If I don't do it with all the maps and all that shit, if I just export this as it is, the amount of detail that you can see is very little. It looks like I didn't almost work on it. And I give it all the little, all the little bumps, all the little details, everything, and it looks super flat. It looks super like a fucking blob.
Yeah.
And I don't know
Well,
why, unless
maybe it's the material that you choose
maybe fuck.
when you do that.
It's like a like it's retarded. Let me change the light. Jesus. Mm. You know if Killian said anything?
I don't think he did. No. Right. Oh, he saw it. He saw it, but he didn't answer.
Oh shit. It is war. Now he's doing the same thing to you.
Yeah, exactly. Gave me the silent treatment, but I didn't. It's my mistake. It's not on purpose, so. No, stalking is like hard work.
Huh? What hard work?
We're not talking means we're working hard. That's unusual.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm enjoying this drawing though. Why am I so
Oh, you're
much?
drawing. What the fuck?
Yeah. See, remember that thing I showed you yesterday?
The city.
The city. So I kind of took just a little piece of it and trying to
Oh, you're using that as like base too.
trying to design something out of it. Sort of like oh, industrial garage factory thing, like, the vehicles coming in and out. Maybe.
Dude, since I started practicing this 3D thing, I'm so lazy to like go to that phase. I was like, okay, now I gotta paint. I'm like, no, I just want to keep like sculpting. I'm
Yeah,
so lazy.
well, you're learning right now. It's enjoyable, right?
Yeah.
Keep doing it as long as you enjoy it, because
Yeah, at some point it just, I guess it becomes the same thing, right? Like, it's same as Photoshop, you know.
it's cool. Oh, he's here.
Mm-hmm.
Hola.
Killian,
Yeah, we can't hear you.
you're muted, bro.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey,
Oh,
how are you,
nice.
man?
I'm fine. How about you?
Good, good.
Good.
I just woke up.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Lazy Spaniard.
Uh-huh.
Uh, what are you doing your siesta?
No, no, no. I'm just worthless. I was just sleeping
All
until
right.
until I mean, hey, it's cool. You're still working on it. Cool.
Yeah, Long told me to stop painting it, and I went back to just give it details.
Okay.
Just sculpt it.
Hey,
Paint it.
Long. What was that? What's the word? Chat room or stuff that you did in French. You know.
What?
And yesterday some website tagged you, and you were like in
Oh,
talking with four guys. Well,
yeah.
four guys and
It's like a round table around
yes, a round
conservatory.
table. That's the word.
Western
They
Front. I'm
what?
kidding. No,
Invited me
some
to
Nazi.
just to talk. It's like if you get these two, the couple is working in my town actually, and they have their own like outsourcing studio, and they went
Oh, you
to
were talking to them?
to the town kind of uh, like library kind of thing, and they made a talk there and made like a little workshop thing.
Cool.
So yeah, It's pretty fun. It was pretty fun actually. It was a long time ago when they just released the.
Yeah, and how much? How,
I mean,
how,
a long time ago. It was like last year.
oh, oh,
Oh.
and they release it now.
Yeah, I don't know why. Is the guys
They
that
they're
recorded it.
waiting for Macron, maybe.
Yeah, maricon.
No, I think the guys that recorded it are. It's like a small radio. It's more like video games radio, but
Hmm,
it's local stuff, kind of. I mean, on the web. It's like a web TV, web radio thing.
cool,
And I guess they were busy or something.
cool. It's a shame I didn't, and I can't, you know, speak or hear French
Yeah,
because
that's too bad. Yeah, for all the English-speaking people, you can't really. Well, I was worried that I sound like a jerk, and it's funny. I sound so different than I thought. Because I hear myself in English, right? Because I record some videos, and I did that a few times, but not in
Yeah,
French.
you sound
Never.
like a jerk in English too.
yeah, everybody talks like a jerk in English because we used to talk like a stand-up comedy, you know. Like,
Well, you
I
talk like
mean,
the things you watch on TV, so.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I mean. We use like colloquial the language we use. We talk completely different that in in
Yeah, native language.
well, I curse a lot in both language, but but it's true that your way of communicating shapes different when you're
It's so
talking another
different.
language. Jonathan used to say you become another person when you
Yeah,
talk another
yeah.
A
language.
little bit, yeah. Oh,
So
I saw a talk of that guy that you told me about hallucinations.
Yes, Oliver
Yeah,
Sacks.
yeah. I watched like a few hours of him. Um, it was interesting, but it's so hard to make him talk. Like just to like make him just tell you more stories. It's very slow. I think it's because he's very old.
Well, he's dead now. Yes,
Oh,
but it's really hard to make him talk now.
what are you talking
Unless,
about?
unless you have the Necronomicon or something. But
yeah.
I recommend you to read the book, dude.
All right.
There's a chapter about one of the things you were talking in the last stream that
Mm-hmm.
is grief hallucinations. I put that on the chat.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like people that been married for a long time is very common after one of them dies. You,
Just to
you you
see
just
them.
see them.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah,
obviously.
you see them, but it's not like a scary hallucination. Long. It's like what he
Oh
says
yeah,
is
yeah.
it's normally very pleasant.
I get it, cause I mean,
Or a grief.
imagine
That's
like
crazy.
Yes.
decades of living together, and then one of you dies. This is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Well, that happened to
Right.
me with my dog, the dog I have since I was a child.
Uh huh.
It's not
Okay.
like I
Really?
married the dog. I didn't marry the dog. When yes, and the days after and she died, and when I was sleeping, I assumed that she was going to the room, or I see her from the corner of the eye for a couple of days, because I
That's
was
yeah.
so used to see the damn thing doing the same stuff every day that it's like
Yeah.
automatic, automatic thinking.
Yeah, your brain's like expecting it to be there.
Dude, I have three dogs, and I'm thinking every day because I like them very much. I'm like,
Yeah,
why am I doing this to myself? Like these are three potential, you
yeah. It's
know.
it's not funny when you when you have a pet long. I think the same thing. I guess
Yeah.
when you have your child, you won't give a fuck about the dogs, probably, because
Man, I don't
your
know.
your priority shift. But I love the
No,
Rufus.
but dude, I think you can still like have a child and love him and be like, oh, but I also love my dogs very much, you know? Like
Yeah, yeah,
I don't think that goes away. I really,
Yeah, no,
have
yeah.
of course. But if you don't like the dogs from the start,
Oh yeah, well yeah.
You don't like dogs, Long?
Oh, I like dogs. I like dogs.
No, long
I
as
have
a
no
cat
problem with
person.
dogs. No, I have two
Uh,
cats. That's all. Like I could have a dog if I
okay.
if I started with a dog, I would have a dog. But I started with two cats, so I'm not gonna get a dog now. I have two fucking cats already.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like
You know
Oh, you have
that.
two?
Do you know that I'm almost the equivalent of a crazy cat lady with dogs? That I fucking love dogs and stuff like that. So now
Yeah.
I know I can trust you, Long.
what because I have cats.
Mm.
I was joking, dude.
Well, yeah, you
It bu-
can't really
it bumped.
trust me.
Well, I think my future is really be a crazy old dog person, you know,
Yeah,
or
because
Or
he
just
picks up every dog from the street. It's crazy.
yeah.
that's the
Like,
way to go, dude. If you can afford it, that's the way to go. You know.
Long. I almost picked up two dogs last month in the street.
Really?
they would have
Yeah.
five.
I didn't because you know we're pregnant now. Otherwise, I had to really control myself. Like, no, don't do it. Just let them,
Oh
you
my
know,
god, that's so
whatever.
bad.
Let
Yeah, be
nature
careful.
do its thing.
You know, you can't take all the misery of the world upon your
I know.
shoulders.
No,
Maybe you know what?
but you can help it.
Just build a, like an association for valley dogs and like
Yeah,
No,
but
because I gotta deal with people then, and it's even worse.
yeah. Shit.
yeah, yeah. Probably when you have your child, you won't be as. You probably still love your dogs. I was joking because you
I
know
probably
the
will love my child. I will be like,
how
you know,
how the
dogs are
brain
more
works.
fun. Fuck you.
The next week you abandon Johnny, Killy, and the little one, and I don't need them. I don't need them anymore.
No, just throw the baby off the out the window. I just stay with
Don't
my
say
dog.
that loud.
Oh,
Oh shit.
They will kill you.
Yeah.
my friend just got his kid. Friend just got a boy like 5 days ago.
Ooh, how
Huh?
much he cost him?
Well, it was free with lots
Okay,
of pain.
where did he stole him?
Cost a lot of pain to his wife
Okay,
to bring it into the world. But yeah, it was pretty fun.
How
We went for
long?
drinks. But
How long was the delivery? We look like
uh,
we sound like fucking old ladies. Like, how long was the
yeah,
delivery?
yeah. Well, grown up. It was pretty. Took them 2 days because they started with the kid didn't want to come out, so they started with you know
Oh,
these things. They put the gel on your belly, and then wait, and then oh it's not starting, so they had to like put the actual produce into your veins and things. So they had to
uh,
do
fuck.
you know work
Yeah,
at it.
I've been hearing like people people
Yeah.
around here. They're also been having babies. Some of my friends, and they're like, oh yeah, it took 2 days to come out. I'm like, what the fuck? What do you mean 2 days? Like, what is it doing? What are you guys
Well,
just hanging out and you're
you have
pushing for 2 days?
contractions, and you wait, and the thing is not coming out.
or Putri. I
So
guess that she must be like, oh fuck.
She's
right.
scared, but so far the weird thing is that it's a seamless. If it wasn't because she has a giant belly, you wouldn't be able to tell she's pregnant. I mean,
Oh,
But
she
still,
has
you
more
still have
energy.
time.
that's kind
She has
of
more energy
obvious, you
than
know.
needed.
You still
No,
have
long,
time.
long, but this is the hardest part is always the first trimester and the third.
Hmm.
So the first one that is like the one with the vomiting and all that shit, like it just didn't happen. It happened like twice. She was like not feeling very good.
Hmm.
And so yeah, I'm expecting yeah, maybe third trimester is gonna be a bit harder, but we already went over the half of it without any problems. So
I don't remember. It's been 4 months or
fucking 22 weeks, whatever that is, in math, you know.
okay.
Well,
I'll
how
do the
much is
math.
22
I don't know.
weeks?
I don't know. I don't care.
I'll Okay.
Yeah, 22 weeks is
Fucking retard.
Whatever. With
is
Alejandro, we don't care.
5 months.
5 months. There you go.
It's been
Cool.
5 months. Almost.
Yeah, we went to do like a scan where this is very cool. Like I didn't know they do this. Before we saw it, you know, the one that's like 2D. You just see
Yeah,
kind
you
of
had
like
the
a flat
3D one.
image. Oh yeah, we did the 3D one,
Nice.
and you
What?
see the face.
3D,
Yeah.
3D ecography.
Yeah.
Didn't know
Yeah.
about that.
Standard,
So
man.
yeah,
It's
yeah, dude, it's crazy. I mean, it's not very detailed, but you get to see the face of the baby, like in 3D. You can see
pretty
how
amazing, actually.
how it looks.
You can see the face and move and
And I guess you both entered in cell shock when you saw that.
No, I mean, it's cool. It's more like that kind of like when you see a puppy, like, oh, that's so cute. But
You know that I hate kids, so
it's kind of like
I know, me too. I fucking despise children. So
Yeah, but
I,
your child's not the same.
of
yeah.
course not. Yeah, I guess when
Nothing.
like right now I'm enjoying the whole thing. Like seeing Putri with the belly, and you can already feel the kicks, which is fucking cool. Because before you just like I have nothing to do with this thing, right? Because you just have no interaction at all with it. But now at least I feel the kicks, which is pretty cool. And let's see. I probably when it comes out, I'll be like, "Oh, that's fucking awesome."
Yeah,
That's-
a friend of mine told me. I think it was Juanca. I think you know Juanca.
I think the name it's
Yeah,
familiar.
Juanca. Juanca.
Carlos.
Yes, exactly. Told me that he his priorities, when watching movies, shift. Since he has
He doesn't care anymore.
like when you always see the movie and you see like cool they kill the kids or oh fucking kid, then it changes your mind and you
Really?
cry. Yes, you cry a lot. It gets you once you're a
Oh
father.
god.
So
Gonna
be
become a
ready. Yes, exactly. So be ready to no longer enjoy kids being killed in movie.
well now before I used to enjoy it.
I know
No, but
that was your thing,
yeah, no, now
Nice.
now it's definitely like I'm on the like walking in the mall with Putri, and if I see little like toddlers or whatever, I'm right away like, oh, Putri, check that out. Like that's kind of cool.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, but that's just because I haven't seen mine, right? I don't know, dude. It's I don't know. I really never enjoyed kids. Like if the only way like the only time I've enjoyed hanging out with kids is when like we're going out with friends. Someone has a kid and it's like, oh, let's take him swimming or like show him a water park, some shit like like doing some fun shit with the kid. That's
Yeah.
cool. I enjoyed it because this is the first time they do it. So seeing their face like, oh fuck, this is fucking crazy.
Super excited.
That's awesome. But then they cry and become little assholes,
Yeah.
Lawrence is
That looks great, Long.
yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you were doing this thing the other day, right? When you were talking about night horrors. This is
No.
you started drawing this in the. Ah no, you're true. Okay.
No, it's a model.
Yeah. But I don't know why with the rocks. I remember it was the thing you were making that day, but no.
What was I making that
Wasn't it?
day?
I think it was long. The city you started doing that city thing.
No, because the one that he was doing
No.
have like a spherical building in the center, like a Tatooine-like building.
Oh shit! You telling that everything the lungs makes looks the same?
Yeah,
No.
maybe.
No.
What
Like,
night?
come
Oh no, I was doing no. When we were talking, I was doing a 3D code build thing, and it was pretty bad. But no, it's a different thing completely.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah.
huh.
let me give the link to Lawrence.
Oh yeah.
He might join us. Okay. Link is in Skype Launch.
So, Killian, do you ever had the sleep paralysis thing?
No. I have. I think I have only once when I was a kid, but I'm not so sure, dude. I have the blessing of, even if I had a lot of nightmares when I was a kid, I never
Uh,
had sleep paralysis, you know?
yeah, yeah. You're lucky, dude.
Yeah,
I was telling
yeah,
me yesterday about his fucking crazy like, demons and shit like that, man.
yeah, dude.
It's so horrible.
That talk you were, the things you were talking, it was super, super amazingly scary, you know?
Right? Like
Yeah.
it's simple. It's very simple. It's just so scary because it looks so real.
You know why you are paralyzed, right?
Yeah. Well, I think I know. It's like so you don't act out your dreams, right? Like
Exactly,
your brain releases this thing.
exactly.
Boy.
And who was the one who had the sleep paralysis and soon? You know, like because I assume that you were talking about that because one of you have a sleep paralysis
Oh,
recently.
me, I had a very light one. I had them really bad before, but no. I just had a very like almost like beginning of one with voices. I didn't see anything, but I heard
Voices.
someone inside. Yeah, I heard like there was a guy in the room.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just talking like super uh like not yelling or doing anything, just like someone just having a conversation inside the room. I'm like, what? Who's here? What the fuck? Why are my dogs barking?
Your dogs,
Dead.
your dogs
That's
what?
the only thing. Yeah, no, that's the only thing that tells me, calm down. That this is not real. Is
Mm.
that my dogs are not going nuts? Yeah. Because
That was in a dream.
they sleep in the room. Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
I hear you the other day talking about recurrent nightmares, and you
yeah.
Oh
talk
yeah.
about which one? You are chasing by someone and you have to flee, and
Yeah, yeah. But
that
the someone is like
knows
it's like
your every single
super.
move, right?
Yeah, it could be anything. It could be, but it always feels like the same thing. It
Yeah,
could be like a
exactly.
monster or a shadow or whatever. It always feels like it's the same entity. Like.
Yeah, exactly. I had that. What that was one of my recurring nightmares when I was a
Mm.
kid. Usually, I am in my house. If you know my house, my room is in the other side of the house, and the other side of the house is like the entrance. You know,
Yeah.
the hallway. So I usually knows. I didn't hear him, but I know that it's going to come through the door, and I have
Mhm.
little time to escape. So I have to run all the hallway to my room, and I don't know why a recurrent thing is that I have to escape through the window of my room.
Yeah, right. Like that's a very common thing with me too. It's getting like out of windows. Sometimes
Yeah,
like third floor, you gotta jump.
exactly,
Uh, kind
exactly.
of shit.
In my case, I couldn't open the properly the window, and I have to try to crawl over like a half opened window, and
Yeah.
then I sometimes I escape flying. You know?
Oh yeah. That's if you're lucky, you can fly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That's cool.
yeah.
It was so funny because you were talking about some other thing that always happens to me is when you're trying to fire a fire gun, that the trigger doesn't work, or you don't have the strength, or
Yeah.
you make this.
But
Sometimes in the how it plays in the dream is that I make the sound with my voice like, but I'm
really,
trying to shoot.
Yeah, okay, cool.
yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Shoot, motherfucker! Pew, pew.
My
How did
guns,
you
my
know?
guns, my guns are more like yeah, because I did so much spear fishing before that normally my gun is a spear gun because I know how it feels like. So the ones that work, it's like a spear gun.
Nice.
But
Hey,
bullets,
Lawrence.
I don't know. I don't know how to shoot bullets in print. Hey,
Hi.
Lawrence.
You'd be eating still, right? Yeah, just eating.
Is eating. Yeah, right. So like bullets will just fall off the barrel of the gun, and sometimes they will. Sometimes I will manage to shoot, but they don't do anything bad. They just
Yeah.
like drop in front of me.
Yeah, that's it. Sometimes happens when I'm like fighting the gun that the trigger doesn't work, or I'm making the sounds like.
Mhm.
Sometimes it works, and sometimes the people doesn't react, and it's kind of, well, dreams are a messy thing.
It's like a bad game, like a bad video game.
Yeah.
Very cool. I
Uh,
went to buy last time I was at the library. I wanted to buy the Freud's interpretation of dreams kind of book, but I didn't. It
Oh,
was too
do you
expensive.
know long the Red Book of Carl Jung?
ooh,
I have no, but I actually bought which one is it that I bought? Let me check.
the little red book. This is my favorite.
Ah, you have it, Alejandro. No,
No,
because
no, I'm kidding.
it
No, I
only
never
have
have.
That's a
it only
copy.
have yes, but I only have like in small copies of it, and I don't know if it is for sale, right?
I don't. I really. I never. I don't read. So I'm just referencing it.
The one I have is Roots of Consciousness, but I didn't read it yet.
Yeah, that kind of stuff like Freud is just psychobabble, It's not really a science per se. It's just a funny
Yeah.
rhetoric, but it is cool if you are a creative person to give ideas.
Yeah.
It's like
It's always the same. Did you study psychoanalysis? You tell
psy-
me Freud is
psychoanalysis.
just psychobabble?
Yes, yes, psychoanalysis isn't recognized as a science. It's just a mambo jumbo from that got popular in the 80s.
Yeah, it was so popular in the 80s. It's true.
When everybody believes that they have like repressed memories of satanic cults and stuff like that.
Well, one thing is true. The guy that you gave me to look at for uh, the dream thing. What's his name? The old guy
Oliver
that's dead
Sacks.
already. Yeah, like that dude had a very cool like scientific approach to
Yeah.
everything. Like he knew how everything fucking works. And
Yeah.
the guy that Jordan Peterson referred to was like a fucking lunatic.
Which one?
Yeah, Jordan Peterson was in Q&A, and people were asking him about sleep paralysis, and he referenced another psychologist,
Yeah.
Okay.
and I listened to him, and all he was
It's like
saying
crazy.
that it was like no, it was like almost like those are real demons and shit. I'm like,
Yes,
what the?
because Jordan Peterson it's cool to listen to him, but he's a Jungian guy that takes too much credit in interpreting fictions like
Yeah,
tales and stuff like that.
definitely, definitely. Like you can give him any story, he will find some kind of symbolism in it.
Yes, yes. I like to listen to him, but I don't believe half of the conclusions that he draws
Yeah,
because
same here.
it's kind
But
of
I like the way
far-fetched.
he talks though.
What
Like
conclusions does he draw then? Because
Some the monomyth thing and the hero thing, it's okay, it's properly rooted, but when he draw that kind of thinking in a chapter of The Simpsons, I'm thinking, dude, relax. You don't have to. It's like when you only have a hammer, everything looks like nails
yeah,
to you.
yeah. For
It's
him,
like
everything is what is it called, a phenotype.
Yeah, an archetype
Archetype.
from from
Archetype.
of the hero's way and stuff like
I
that.
think it's pretty interesting when you look at like modern storytelling and ancient storytelling, and you try to look at it like because no one looks at it. I think
Yeah,
never
No,
saw
I
anyone
think
else like really
he's
talking
he's
about it.
right when he refers to it like characters that stick with us, uh, or the most respond to certain criteria,
Mm.
and so he's very good at like telling you which ones are what, right?
yeah,
But then he goes a lot of many times off his way to, like, you're talking about something that has nothing to do with it, like not related, and he just goes, oh yeah, but the he sees like he sees them everywhere, and
yes.
Yeah, does that mean he's
He
wrong, or does that mean
no,
he's
no,
too
no.
like
It's not the,
too?
like it's necessary a bad conclusion, but it's not necessarily the case.
yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, okay,
Because
sure, but like it doesn't mean that there's not something to. It's psychology stuff, let's say.
oh well, more psychoanalysis. I will. When he talks about psychology and about behavior and about the stuff he does for therapy, it's amazing. But
Hmm.
when he start to
Yeah,
going more ambitious with his views and start to talking, like Pinocchio represent this and that, and you are
Yeah,
starting to think, well, calm down,
yeah,
because maybe also I am a kind of a cynic. I know that, but
yeah,
he
maybe.
often give too much talk or too much, babble about art, and sometimes it's like, okay, art sometimes is instinct,
Yeah, yeah,
and you're talking like an engineer about something that is not necessarily engineered.
yeah. No, what he confuses me a lot is the way he argues something, or he gets he like thinking out loud, right? And then
Yes, it's non sequitur. Sometimes it's non sequitur. He goes
yeah,
to a
yeah, it's not
conclusion.
sequitur. Yeah, like he just tells you, like he concludes during the thing that, uh, wait, did like this kind of thing means that, and then you're like, oh wait, what, like why? And then but he just uses that to get to his point, and you're
Yeah,
like, no, no, go back, what do you mean, like why is that a, what does that represent, whatever. And this, I don't right now, I don't remember exactly but I know that it happens a lot when he's
yeah,
explaining things. I'm like, oh
yeah.
whoa,
I
chill,
guess I
what?
guess it's either like actually wrong, or maybe it's like a piece of argument that he doesn't develop at the time, because it happens a lot when
I
you have
think
like
that
public talks like this, and you
yes,
you
that
just say
that tends
shit
to
and
happen when you speak from your guts. Like
Yeah.
he makes the connection, but he can't put it properly on paper because
Hmm.
it's automatic thinking, and that's
yeah, I
the
don't know.
problem.
Yeah.
He
I
loves to
didn't read
talk.
his book. That's why I started reading these things, because you watch something on the internet, and he's not gonna. It's like you didn't read the book. You didn't.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You don't like maybe the argument's not formulated properly, like on the spot in the public talk, right? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Sometimes it's just
Yeah, but
you
even
have to
if
look
it in
into
the
it
book,
deeper.
one have to properly don't buy everything that it says. I love Steven Pinker, and I don't trust half of the things he said. I love
Mhm.
the blank slate, but some chapters I am like, oh boy, you are trying to sell me something. This
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that's
I
why.
have the same thing with him. I mean, I love the fucking guy. Like
Yeah,
it's amazing. Like you
Well, it's like
totally,
anything, right? Like any
gotta listen to
thinker,
him.
any thinker's like that. You always
Yeah.
have. You're not gonna unless you're a fucking ideologue and you're like, oh, this is my god now. Like
Yeah.
everything they
exactly.
say is this is it. Like Marx, like, oh yeah, man, like
Yeah. It's just
you
it's
know,
like sometimes I would like to understand some of the stuff he says better. and it feels very lightly threaded, like his argument, and I don't know.
Because
Did you see that one
there's a big
about?
difference. I saw him like I saw like a lot of content from him, and there's two different kind of parts. Like Killian said, there's a lot of like the actual lab stuff where he
Mm.
knows his shit. Like he did the actual studies. He's citing papers, and that you can
Yeah,
really like go in and really check.
that's the
And
part
then
I
there's
like.
and when he's talking, trying to because he says it. He said it a few times that he's still trying to see if there's something to it, right? Like maybe he's
Yeah,
wrong. Like maybe he
he
completely
normally
wrong.
he
But
says the way he.
you'd have to actually destroy his argument to say that it's wrong, right? Like
Yeah,
there's something
I
to it.
had. Um, Killian, did you see him talking about truth with Sam Harris? You see that talk?
Oh no, no. I know that Sam Harris says he's a cool guy, but he's kind of a sophist. But I don't really follow either Sam Harris or Peterson, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I spent 2 hours listening to both, like trying to trying to figure out like a common concept of what's truth between the two of them, and it was fucking crazy. I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? Why is something so simple?
Yeah,
Because it's not
And
that
this guy just,
simple. Maybe he
well,
thinks
no, but he wants to um, Peterson wants to add to link morality to truth, which is it's kind of like, well, what's the need for that in the real world? Like, uh, and then he is like, no, but it only applies to like global situations. You cannot, if I pinpoint a little thing, like, oh, if something that is truth, like something that, oh, what's the example? Because he makes it Darwinian in a way, like whatever makes you survive in the end of the day, it's more truth
yeah,
than
I don't think
what
that
does.
one is well developed when he says that. I think
Yeah, it's
there's you
fucking
might want to
brain.
like really redefine
But
these
it
things.
felt it felt like it got a bit stubborn. Like, okay, now I'm gonna dig in, my heels here, and I'm not gonna just let go
Yes, I
of this
guess
concept.
two guys
yeah,
like this, like, is so different in
they are used to be
their
the
approach.
alphas.
Like, if you
Yeah,
don't want to listen to the other guy, you're never gonna. Like I saw, like Harris is fucking dude. He's so I super ego driven guy, and might be right or whatever. But if you can't even get to the point when you're talking to this guy because he's never gonna accept like anything that deviates from his thinking. I feel like these past years I've watched some stuff from him. It's a little bit
well, I was
too.
just trying. I was also like, okay, let me see what does he means when, because concept of truth should be like one of the simplest things to
Well,
like.
it's not. It's not like
Well, like what is true? How many? Like the example was like, what if a terrorist grabs you right now, and the guy is crazy? He just asks you like, okay, you got to tell me uh, the all the American presidents, right? Uh, in correct order, and you and he's wrong actually. He wants you to say it in a certain way, a certain order that is actually wrong. It's not the right order, and that's what's gonna make you survive. And you say it, so you say it wrong. You said it in that order, and you survive. But that makes
Truth, no,
it true? No,
but
right?
it's
no,
yeah,
of
but
course not.
you're conflating like I don't think it's totally not the way when he says it helps you survive. It's not like in the actual objective. I don't think like I think there's something that he needs to develop there because this argument doesn't work like that.
Well,
Like,
because
it's not.
he's treating it like an overall thing, like a global thing, like, oh, whatever makes.
I wouldn't know how he thinks about it because he didn't really got to explain it because
He
every time.
did. He was saying it was like a Darwinian thing, and like,
Yeah, but not in the right. Like it wasn't well developed. You know what I mean? Like the argument
yeah,
when you're
but
talking to someone. online.
No,
on
but if
Skype.
you're giving non it's not a like an obvious, you obviously haven't thought it out, right? And the other guy is telling you, well, actually what's truth should be, what's something more mathematical, more palpable, right? Like and the guy's like, no, but I also won't tell you how I get to this conclusion. It's
That
like,
was-
well,
that was
then I
Jordan.
win, motherfucker.
That was Jordan.
Yeah, it was Jordan. Yeah, like he wouldn't
Just listen
like.
to maybe you. I mean, I couldn't listen to the whole thing. It's
Dude, I
fucking
listened to
too
it
annoying.
twice. I
That-
listened
Sorry,
to
I
it
couldn't.
twice. I'm
That
like,
sounds like two childs arguing, in the school.
yeah, completely.
Yeah, that's.
If truth is anything but personal, because a personal
Or
a
moral,
personal
like
a
nothing to do
personal
with
truth
moral.
is not personal.
Yeah,
It's
but
an opinion.
yeah, for him, truth it's linked to morality. So it's like truth is always the best way, right? Like it always will set you free. It will always like in the end it will like get you
No,
free.
I think he
And it's like, no.
does make the difference. Make a distinction between what you call objective truth, like that's the way he says it. Objective truth and some other kind of truth. So you'd have to just check what he says.
sounds like a problem with the definitions. Like when we were
Yeah,
talking
it's a
about
definition problem, but
artificial.
it's always like that. Like all of these things are not really defined in like the absolute. Like I don't know. It's just it. I think he opened like some really interesting like areas of inquiry, but I think yeah on that truth thing like you might why don't just use another word? Why not just
Yeah.
I don't get how and if you can't make a solid argument working, then don't use this word.
Exactly.
Use
It's
something.
like
But then
it's such a like
it's a
like a primitive, like a primal, very basic concept that everyone kind of agrees upon. Like, okay, what's true, what's not true. Like, we all can tell. I mean, we all.
certain things like there's certain things you can't say. There's no actual objective truth. Like if you say, for example, taste. Well, if you're gonna tell me like this is objectively better than this, no, there's no like it's subjective. So then you
Yeah,
start
no, but
entering in that realm of psychology and human stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
exactly.
politics, for example,
Truth
you could be
is
on the
the
left. You have an argument on the left. You have an argument on the right, but they're not like both of them could work. And depending on your presupposition, where I don't know, maybe on the left you feel more like you should be equality, whatever, and on the right you need more liberty, for example. Like you do like simplify like that.
yeah, but you don't argue. You don't argue them based upon which one is truther. Right?
Actually, you do.
You argue
people
around.
do.
No,
People
you do like
do.
which one gives the best results, right? Or the results that you feel like it will be better for X.
I think most of the people, especially, they are saying which is truth, not which is more useful, because if they were going for the useful parts, everybody will be like a vulture, capitalist vulture. But I'm
No, actually, that's not. That's actually the opposite. From Peterson's point of view, because when he does, he gives you the example of, for example, the hierarchy in chimps, for example. That's never the like the worst badass alpha male that I mean is not stable.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
example, hierarchy of chimps or apes, they work in a certain way, and apparently, well, if you just check, I don't know, I'd have to actually read the studies because I don't know.
Yeah.
But apparently, it's never the more brutal guy that has the stable realm or reign, I should say. So the way it works better is that if you know how to use, for example, violence, but also you're kind of empathic with people in the tribe, right? Like
that bit
otherwise,
from him, I love that bit from him. That it's more moral. The monster who choose not to harm people,
Yeah.
that the guy that it's it's incapable of hurting people. I love that bit.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
It's
that's
true,
sort
man.
of. So then
That reminded me of Schindler's List for some reason. I was like, oh, I've seen that before.
okay.
When they tell him,
Interesting. Why?
because there is that scene where Schindler,
Yeah. The
he tells the bad guy, he's like, what's real power? When you can, take
bad
someone's
guy. When
life
the bad guy does that.
and you decide not to. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And he does it. Yeah. I remember that. Exactly.
He's like, I forgive you.
That's pretty cool. But
That's
see, these
real
things,
power.
I think maybe he'll write in his next book. Like he's still young. This guy that we're talking about, Peterson. It's one of the
John.
Peterson.
Peterson is John, you say?
He's still
Wow.
young as a person. Like he can get older, so he'll write the next book.
He has years on him, yeah. He can still write some shit.
And I think like same
50.
for Harris. Like I think Harris is even younger. Like,
Yes, Harrison is
grow
younger,
up a
but
little bit.
Harris is younger, but Peterson is like 50
But that's
much,
young
I think.
that's pretty young for nothing.
Yeah,
Right?
but
You know what I mean?
yes, I'm sorry. I don't know why I felt like you were saying that he was starting, but he was working
No.
by the 80s, but he just got famous now, you know?
No, he's not like a kid. He's just when I would say young, I mean in terms like how many books has he written? Like the way you formulate your arguments, like when you're in that realm, you're gonna write one book and then the second one and then the third one. Because I'm reading Nietzsche right now, and I'm reading one of the later books. And I didn't read the first books, but if in your mind, when you're a philosopher, for example, because that's philosophy stuff,
Yeah.
you will evolve. Like your arguments will get sharper, and maybe you'll lose some of them along the way, and maybe at the end of your life, well, what you say is going to be different than when you're 20 or 30. So if you read something thinking, oh, that's the absolute, done, then you never leave it to evolve in the future. Because there's something to his arguments. Like there's definitely something, dude. The way people react to it, because that's what I like the pragmatic view. Because I'm more on that school also, that school of thought in France actually. Totally against the fucking like socialist, the dominant socialist kind of view right now. And you did have some pragmatists in politics in here that I really enjoyed. And I like this idea of if something is really working like this, well, maybe there's something to it. You could say, it's false, it's wrong, or it's completely fake. Well, it's still happening right now in the world. So look at the way people react to what he says, and it's pretty.
Well, I don't know what's the point. I mean, there's many ideologies and many people that got a good reaction from the masses. I don't want to.
It means that there's something to it. It means that there's something to it.
Oh, yeah?
Some ideologies not only works because the ideology itself, but the opposition ideology. The only reason Peterson is famous now is not because his arguments are better than before.
Yeah.
It's because he speaks out against another ideology, and all the people against that ideology, in this case, third wave feminism, go and rally behind Peterson. It's not like
I don't think it's that easy. That's pretty cynical, man.
Yes. No. It's true. It's true. That's why the crazy Milo got famous.
Of course, dude, and why people now listen to fucking what's that guy?
That's why we have Trump in the White House, dude.
So wait. So for example, if you talk about Milo, that guy is fucking weird, by the way.
Milo is a clown.
So
I
nothing that he said. So nothing that he said had something to it. That's what you mean. It's just because he's against what was before.
No.
Then it means
No. Peterson has value. Peterson has
thing
value, but the reason he's popular now is because the circumstance, not because the value.
Yeah, sure. But then there's something to it, and that's important.
A lot of shit they say is fucking retarded, dude. Like the whole. I'm not gonna get into like details of things like Milo and all this fucking guys say. But in the end, you end up kind of supporting them as a figure. You're like, well, I would prefer, at this point, that guy being heard than some other people.
Well, the problem is we learning now with that position that it's not. It can affect the ecology of the planet, you know.
Oh
Because
yeah,
that's the reason why other guy was choose instead of the corrupt person, you know,
yep.
like. And Trump was choose on opposition to Hillary because Hillary was a crook, but maybe in the long term wasn't the
Maybe
wisest
wasn't the best
decision.
choice.
Yes, exactly. So
Yeah.
you can
Yeah,
you
yeah.
It
can
doesn't
you,
mean see, but that's what I was saying
yeah
with we were talking with Brian last time. We were saying that people maybe what's lacking really is just dialogue because
yeah
there's something to each position. Like it's come on, like grow up, people. Just there's something on this side and there's something on the other side. You gotta learn it at some point. And
Mhm.
this has been known forever. If you look at the old stories, or if you look at to me, in my thinking, it comes from the whole Asian yin yang, the Tao philosophy, basically. It's been known forever. Everybody knows that. There's something to each side, and they're both important. That's what I like about in Asia, because if you look at, for example, you take the Balinese Hindu religion, they have these two opposing sort of demons. There's like a witch and a demon kind of thing, and one of represents kind of good and bad, simplified. But
that kind
and
of
they both need each other to.
Angramanju and that stuff, right?
No, it's the Barong and the what's her name? Brahma, the sorceress.
Okay.
So
I don't know,
it's,
bro.
it's like some form of Hinduism, but
I only work here.
they basically say that you have to have both sides, and that's the way the world is actually. And if you realize that, then it's much easier to see what's good in the opposing argument, and maybe not go as far, because that's what people do now is, or now maybe always, I don't know. But if you don't like this side, then okay, I'm going to go on the other side, but the other side is as bad as the first one, so,
Mm.
or maybe even worse, like in
Yeah,
that.
but I already tried to have arguments, like talk, dialogue with people. And you saw the other day, what, where I sent you that chat, right? It was like right away, like, oh, you're a Trump supporter. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I just, I'm not even talking about Trump. How come you already people already put you in this box right away? Like, oh, you
Yeah.
are this dude.
Yeah, but
Like,
that's what I mean exactly. That when we get to a point where we can actually discuss, like when we do it together. Like I've changed my point of view on some things. I'm sure you changed a little bit on some things.
Never.
Maybe not
no.
completely,
Yeah.
obviously. But
Of course I go along. You know that.
no, I mean, if you don't do it, then it's just always gonna be the same thing. You're gonna have this side against this side. It's gonna be war.
Yeah.
And I don't want it. I guess it would be easier because nowadays, when you get older, for example, this guy's having a kid. His life is going to change. The way he sees things is going to change,
Yeah.
and he's going to know certain things that we don't know. And
Yeah.
if you don't realize that, if you think, oh no, because I'm young, then because that's the way it works, man. Look at in England after the vote, people said, oh, maybe you shouldn't let old people vote because they don't have as
I
much time
know,
to live on
that's
the
so
planet.
crazy.
And
That's
you're
so
like,
crazy.
okay, is it the way you want to do things, really?
So
Like you have to talk about these things and really like open a bit. Like stop with your fucking be open a little bit, guys. I mean, I'm not talking to you guys, but
no, but it's just funny that everybody went like, oh, fucking old people, like, oh, so you think you know better? That's
I even
interesting.
heard that from old people saying, "Oh, I'm 90. You know,
Me too, dude.
I'm gonna die in a few years. Like, well, I shouldn't participate because it's us, the young. Well, maybe I want your opinion.
Well, maybe they need your wisdom, yeah.
I mean, I hang out with a lot of older people, and they're usually around 50, 60, and really good friends, and they have shit to say, man. Like,
Where did they touch you, Long? You can
Yeah.
show in the door
oh
where
well,
they touch
yeah,
you.
sure. I'm older now. I can defend myself.
Okay.
You just join them. You just
It's
rape them.
okay.
All
It's okay. But they have shit to say. They have they've seen shit, They might
Yeah,
not have read like all the Marx fucking shit or the philosophers or anything, but they know their thing. Like they've lived through fucking 50 years of life.
yeah, that's the
The kids.
old quote of the devil knows more by being old than by being a devil.
Hmm.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pretty
I
good
always
one.
heard that quote. I never listened to it. I'm like, oh, huh. Más sabe el diablo de viejo que por sabio, ¿no?
exacto,
Oh,
exacto.
that's like a Spanish saying.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Say in Spanish.
Yes.
yeah. Más
Uh,
sabe el diablo de viejo que por sabio,
sí,
right?
no,
Is
de
that?
viejo, más sabe el diablo de viejo que de diablo. It's the one I know.
Okay,
Oh
okay,
yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Maybe
okay.
that's the Cuban version and mine
No,
is
I
the
don't know.
Spanish
I don't know. I
version.
don't know. I just
So
know how it sounds like. I don't. I don't.
your
Ever.
version is the original version,
Yeah.
Spanish.
Oh.
Well, that's a good one. But see, and all of these perspectives, like, how many of them do you not have? That's the thing. Like, how many kids have you had? How many times have you been to jail? I don't know. Like, how many times have you done this and that?
One thing I see, like it's funny that the other day some people were accusing me of like thinking very locally and not about the big problem. And this was said to me by kids that never left their country.
Exactly.
So I'm like, that's very funny, you know.
Yeah,
So
it's
like,
very kind of you to. Oh my
yeah,
god, that's
like they're
great.
basing all their opinions and their in like what's happening in their country only, you know, like, oh, whatever having, like they don't see global trends or anything like that. No, they just see like, oh, this is what happened in my neighborhood right now.
Yeah.
Everyone is, you know, everything is a conspiracy theory. And
Yeah,
fuck.
we all been there, you know, when we were younger. When we are younger, we see ourselves as the moral center of the universe, and we see adults like a stupid version of what
Yeah,
we will become. And then you grow up, and you know that half of the things that they say to you when you were younger, that you say no, were true.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Exactly.
and you respect the old people. Then you like,
Oh man, I cringe at remembering my opinions when I was like 15 or 18. It's
yes,
like,
an argument.
oh,
Yeah,
ew.
Obviously.
but then also there's another quote from Mafalda,
Yeah.
something like, "If you don't change the world soon, the world will change you."
Oh.
That's another thing when you grow apathy and you conform to the norm. That's another
Yeah.
thing.
Well, but is it bad?
No, in this case, it's not that, but one have to remember also that one maybe
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily grow up their opinions, but it's being molded by the
It's molded by the
society,
outside forces. Yeah,
Exactly.
like so that
Like
this
you
that
with citizens.
balance. It's always the same. It's like that sort of. It's the same argument when you have the fight with nurture versus nature. Like
Yeah.
how much of each or one or the other is. It's not one or the other. It's more like how
No,
much
no,
of each.
it's 50-50.
Right?
It's how much of
Maybe it's not 50-50, but who knows? Like this, at least we know there's some of each.
yeah, exactly.
It is the same argument over and over, so you have to look
It depends
maybe
of
more
the person.
precisely on that.
It depends of the person and the story of the person. What opportunity to be driven by one of the two choices in a
Well,
particular
yeah, I
stuff.
think with you getting older, also your circumstances change, and you see yourself in other shoes, you know. So you suddenly, well, you're pretty much someone else after a few years, right?
Yeah,
And now you have a house. Now you have, you know, stuff that you didn't have when you were young,
five
and
dogs.
5 dogs, kids, and and yeah, all these shit starting to make sense. Like, oh, okay, so this is how I would think if
Yeah. What
this amount of people depended on me, right?
what Joe Rogan said, this happens when you don't chop wood.
Oh yeah, I like that.
That's so wise, dude.
Yeah, guys, you have to chop some wood. You gotta
Yeah,
like. I feel it these days is such a. It's getting way more important now. Like just looking at fucking plants, just growing some plants and looking at it and just moving rocks and
growing
All
illegal
these
plants.
things. It's so good. So much better than like, oh, let's go to the movies or let's, play with that technological cool thing that I like.
Watch Alien
Well,
Covenant.
it depends. It's about quantity. It's better to
Yeah,
do
no, totally. When
because
you get from one position to the other, then you start realizing that there's something deeply
yeah,
wrong in the way
but
we do certain things.
that you know how people work, and if you are all your day moving rocks and playing with plants and whatever, and for years, and you then try, I don't know, Oculus Rift for the first time, then just switch your paradigm. It's about routine and repetition also.
I can tell you how I felt that when stopped working as a diver for so long, because it was so like a long period that I couldn't follow the trends that all people from my age was following. So I had that thing like, oh, who is this like singer, or what is this gadget that you guys are using, and it's um it's kind of sad because I can't really tell which one is the best. You don't fit in society if you're just out there chopping wood and you come back as like
Yeah.
you're not part of it, and you need people. So I think you still gotta be part of
No,
the
but
trend.
you don't chop wood by yourself.
Yeah, you
I
meet your
don't think
friends
that's
to
what it
chop wood.
means, right? I'm not sure
Yeah,
that's what
we'll
it
make
means exactly.
like an army. Let's do it.
An army of wood choppers.
Yep. Yep. Just
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
just go around chopping
Chopping wood,
people,
making friends with chopping wood.
chopping
And
forests.
talking about Carl Jung with chopping wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to read. I need to start reading it, but I need to finish the other book first.
Cool.
Pretty deep shit. Like I like the Nietzsche book that I'm reading now. I really like it. It's simple. I thought it would be complicated to read,
Hmm.
but it's not. But sometimes it's way deeper than I
Yeah. What
think
is it?
you get because it is. Also, it's from the end of the 19th century, so way different.
Oh,
1880 something, I think. 82.
I gotta read.
I don't think you gotta read. It's pretty cool when
The-
all these people have thought about shit and they give it to you in a book.
Mhm.
Pretty good. A little more.
If you buy Hallucinations, Alejandro, as I said with Steven Pinker and Peterson, the thing that how Oliver Sacks writes is that he told an anecdote with one of his patients. He told like a story, a very crazy story, and then at the end of the chapter, the, do the study explains the phenom- the phenomenon. Explain why the
Okay.
brain do this and that and whatever. I'm telling you that because, as you see, most of the story he told you about are testimonies by his
Mm.
patients. And if they are testimonies, you can trust a testimony totally because it's personal perception, personal bias, and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So if you start reading and you see, why, maybe this guy made up the whole thing. At
Oh,
the
okay.
end of the chapter, and he explains the data and the stuff, how it's connected with other experiments, and makes more
Yep.
sense. But
All right.
it's always written everything with a healthy skepticism,
Hmm. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
to avoid drinking the Kool-Aid, as they say.
Eh.
But it's cool, dude, because the first chapter is called the Charles Bonnet syndrome. That's really interesting, talking about seeing like patterns and bright
Yeah.
colors and stuff like that. I think really interesting that happens a lot. It's with people with bad vision or
Yeah, yeah. When you're losing
blind.
your eyesight, right? You start getting hallucinations of
Yes,
Could be
it's
some patterns and stuff.
basically it's the brain saying, "Ah, there is no input here. Let me
Uh-huh.
invent it.
That's
You
so
know,
cool.
let me fill the gaps."
Yeah, yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
but then how does it fill the gaps?
Well, it adds patterns and colors to to fill up with the information you don't see, and even some people that lose their vision hallucinate that they can see, and
Yeah,
so they will tell you like, "Oh, I haven't lost my vision. What do you mean? I still can see." And he said that he haven't figured out yet if like how much of it is hallucination and how much of it is the brain not accepting.
yeah.
It's weird, yeah, but yeah,
That
it's so crazy. The kind of there is this hallucination that that Lilliputian or some shit like that. Like you get to see little people
Impressions.
yeah.
walking around.
There's the hallucinations that people actually get where they see Victorian people and have full-on conversations with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah, that lady that lost her vision, right? Like she could see like people in horses and she was freaking out. She's like, "I'm going fucking nuts. What's going on with me?" And it's like, no, it's just your brain. It's uh,
Yeah, it's just
creating
your brain. Well,
yeah, it's
No,
funny.
but
It's like your brain, like when you sleep and you dream, some dreams can be really vivid and they feel real.
yeah.
Oh my god, that's cool. The brain, the whole brain.
Have
shit.
you read the book Lawrence Hallucination?
No, I haven't. I've read some psychology stuff, but that's about it.
It's cool. One of the chapters is about that thing that you just say. It was a really funny reading because he's a funny writer, and
He's
I
pretty
recommend.
funny. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Well, he was right.
So who's that? Like, give me the name, cause so I can, if I ever.
I have
Oliver
it on my.
Sacks.
All right.
Oliver, what?
Sacks.
Oh, Oliver Sacks.
S-A-C-K.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
He have another book. I haven't read it yet. That it's one of his most famous, called "The Man Who Mistake His Wife for a Hat." I think it's the name.
Yeah,
It's
because he
about
has this thing that he cannot see. He cannot recognize people, right?
yes,
Um,
yes. Oliver Sacks also have hallucination because he's blind from an eye. Have I don't remember what psychological problem, and he does a lot of drugs, like a lot.
Yeah, long. It's dude. It's cool. Like he explains, there's so many different types of hallucinations according to you're like what kind of things are fucking missing from your
Yeah,
brain or your side. Some people that hallucinate smells.
yeah, exactly.
Oh
Really
yeah.
strong smell.
Yeah, that's so crazy. And what is this one that they hallucinate also that when they touch stuff, things feel like they're covered in feathers, and when they look like it's just a clean surface, but everything feels like kind of feathery and dusty
Yeah.
all the time. Yeah.
One that it really blows my mind trying to imagine it is when the part of their brain that is prepared to create your feeling of self presence is like bad, and you have like a mirror version of yourself. You see
Oh
like
my.
a copy of yourself. You're feeling a copy of yourself in your left or in your right, like a symmetry thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you see like part of yourself, right? And you don't see it as you, right? You see it as someone else.
Yeah, like third person sort of. You feel like you're seeing yourself rather than actually being yourself.
Exactly. Really cool book.
Interesting. Interesting
Yeah.
stuff.
PSA: don't take drugs, kids.
Exactly.
Yeah, he would.
You,
He would.
you have you have to read the recipes that he describing in the book. Like, this Saturday I canceled all my plans because I wanted to have like a long trip in my house. So I prepared eggs with and I mixed with whatever. I was hoping to see like a recreation of the Battle of Waterloo, stuff like that.
Nice.
I saw that. He also wanted to find the color. What's that blue color?
Yeah, anil. I don't remember the English word, but it's something
Yeah,
like anil, I think.
it's like this lapis color that you find in the Egyptian
Okay.
things. Like it's like a very pretty blue. It has a name. Well, he was trying to discover it because he said he couldn't find it anywhere. So he made makes LSD with weed and something else.
Try to see it.
Yeah, and at some point he said, "Okay, I want to see that color on the wall," and then it appeared. And then he said years later he saw the color on some theater piece about Egyptian, I don't know, and yeah, he was like, "Oh, so yeah, the color exists." He was so happy. That's so weird. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy, dude?
Oliver Sacks is kind of, you would see it's really something else. It's really weird.
Right.
Yeah.
You know the movie Despertares? I think it's the word in. Let me see how it's called in English. It's a movie with Robin Williams and Robert De Niro, I think. Let me see the name, because that's based on his work in, and one of the first books he wrote. Awakenings is in English.
Awakenings? No.
Yes,
No.
Awakenings. It's based on the story of Oliver Sacks with the L-dope for catatonic patients. You know that
Okay.
it's called Awakenings because they did a new drug that awake a lot of people that have like a lethargic state. You know.
Uh-huh.
I know he hates the movie, but just letting
Oh,
you
really?
know. Yeah, yeah.
That sucks. All right.
See, is that true then?
Science, bro.
Yeah, I remember as a kid having like an, because the thing that also happens in when you're saying describing the hallucinations, and with it happens that's what a common misconception with the schizophrenia is that the people who see things, it's not like they have the feeling of a thing. They're literally seeing it in 3D with lights
Yeah.
and volume. It's right,
Yeah.
literally there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a weird feeling.
Yes, exactly. It's not like when
That's
you
an
imagine
actual
something.
hallucination. That's what it means.
Yes, exactly.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, you're it's not like imagining like yeah, he was showing like what is it called, like brain scan of someone that they tell, okay, imagine a an object, right, and like a spinning object, and they would see the eyes of the person when they're imagining the object. They say, okay, I can imagine the spinning object, but the eyes wouldn't be moving. Now, when they hallucinate a spinning object, the eyes would be following the object, and also the parts of the brain that light up, that lit up,
Are
That's when
different.
they actually see it.
are way different. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, yeah. So is it that's when it comes back
It's
to
a
what
form
we're
of perception. It's a legit form of perception. So you are actually seeing something. It's not
Yeah, it's as valid as the couch that you are seeing because it's the model that your brain constructs with the input information.
so
That
is it real?
nope.
well,
It's
Right now.
it's real
True.
for I guess what you're saying is that that concept of truth that Peterson was trying to
Exactly.
explain. Yeah,
Exactly.
but that makes you into a narcissist, whatever guy. That truth is the only thing that comes through your eyes. You know.
oh yeah, it's that thing like
Well, it comes back to AI, the AI discussion that we had last time. If the
Yeah,
thing, if the
exactly.
thing is exactly the same, then
same.
what is? Because that's my problem with the super
The
deterministic
world. That's what you hate.
people is that you don't even know yet, like really how the brain kind of works,
Yeah.
and you don't even have a theory of consciousness yet. So everything that you experience, all your science and all your things, people don't act like robots. ever.
Yeah.
Like, even scientists, they're as crazy as the other people, really. You just take Dawkins, for example.
Well,
Yeah.
people don't act like robots.
They don't act
You
like
think?
scientific. Even scientists don't act like
No,
scientists.
what Long is trying to say, Alejandro, is that a scientist is not a Jedi who makes everything right. There are people with bias and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, I know that, but the problem is that I don't like when you're the opposite school of thought, like the postmodernism. It's very egocentric, and I don't like that vision of my vision of the world is the most is more relevant, or it as relevant as the data gathered. I don't like that.
That's what
But
we are
then,
shitty on.
well, it's not postmodernism. If you, it's just I'm wondering, right? Like,
Yeah,
It's deconstruction of reality.
because you still don't know what the hell is happening.
yeah,
We still don't really know. Like, it's still a mess.
yeah. I
The
agree
way we
with you
see
that
it.
you have to give the people some space to think for themselves whatever they want and don't impose it. I agree with you with that, but
No, I mean it's not really like think whatever you want. I think maybe you're losing. It's a bit reductionist to just say, oh, it's not actually measurable, or like maybe in some way. I don't know, man. I'm not a philosopher,
yeah,
but to me, it feels like these things are sometimes more important to people than actual objective objects. Like,
yes,
for
that's
example, you talk about it's an extreme case, but the schizophrenics, they will act as if it's real. So,
yeah.
and it's an extreme, but we do that also, act as if some presuppositions that we take for granted are real
Yes.
in the world every day.
Like when you are in love with someone that is not correspondent, it's your
All these
reality.
things.
You feel like it doesn't matter the data for you. It's not like
Yeah, you
yeah,
could give me the data at this moment, I wouldn't listen to it, right? Like,
yes,
it's very interesting. So then maybe there's something that we could look at and maybe try to explain. Because
yeah,
I'm not against rationality. Like, I'm
yeah,
actually,
but
pretty. I
but
hate
it's
that. Like,
true.
the mumbo jumbo, I don't like. But the maybe there's something to it, I feel.
I think that we are both talking about the same thing, is that trust the data but have some empathy. What I'm trying to say is that trust the data, don't trust yourself like an unbiased machine. It's what the scientific method was supposed to be, but don't be an asshole. Don't be a Borg and have some empathy. I know that. Don't forget the
Well,
human factor.
just not recognizing that science is just a tool. Because you could do whatever. There's something bigger than science in our life, is actual morality, ethics, and things like that, because you will stop some science to be done, and people will. So if you say, okay, like, scientific method is the overarching thing, like the nature of reality is just that, then you will do some weird shit with science, like we did already. Oh, well,
Oh,
look at the
That
Nazi
shouldn't be.
science.
oh, that's a fallacy, dude. That's a fallacy, but I guess what you're
What do you mean?
trying to say.
What do you mean?
The I don't remember the proper term, but when you make a radical connection between any discipline to the Holocaust, is like
Oh
hold
yeah,
on.
well that's the easy way out. Then it's
Yeah,
not real. Then it never
yeah,
happened. Then we do like let's take nuclear
yeah. I know what
nuclear.
you see. You're
All
saying
right.
don't be what you're saying is don't be a zealot. Don't be a blind follower.
Yeah,
That's
long. But
No,
the thing is that the same science that allows you to make atomic bombs, for
I
example.
know, I know. I'm the first to know. Dude, it was my area of study.
Yeah,
The
it's the same science that's
technology
gonna
is
like
it's not a thing.
bring
Like,
the next.
science is not the thing. You can do. There's no limit to it, right? In the
But
absolute,
yeah,
there's no
science
limit.
is not an ideology or a philosophy. That's the
Exactly,
thing.
exactly. The problem is we need an overarching principle of, because the people that are using this tool are going to do things, and we might not want them to do it. For example, people talk a lot about AI and they're scared of it because it might be pretty dangerous. It might be like the most dangerous thing.
Sure.
So if you don't have some sort of ethics prior to doing this, because let Google loose on it, man, it's gonna be pretty scary what they come up with. It's already pretty scary what technology does with the internet and the way you could track. Like, dude, it's pretty intense.
But ethics and science always been gone hand in hand. Like, for example, what is it like? What is it called? What is the cells? The cells that.
Oh, okay. I don't know the English word, like células madre.
Yeah. The ones that they use from to like regenerate human parts. What is it called?
Stem cells.
Stem cells.
Stem cell
Yes.
research and all that shit. You know, there's always like if you I think the moral these moral problems that
It's not because it's not by the method. Only the common mistake that everybody does when talk about scientific method like that. The problem is not the method itself. The problem is the people. With everything, the problem is
that's what I'm.
the
That's what I
human
just
element.
said.
Yes,
That's what I'm saying. That's what you don't listen to is that science is just a tool. It's just a hammer. There's no intrinsic good, like, because you function first morally before
Yeah, I know that.
objectively, right?
I know
Everybody
that.
Yeah,
does.
but we agree. And yeah.
Yeah. So then there's still like a lot of inquiry that's not done on the moral level, and
but there is also a lot of like scientific, I would say a lot of scientific research that should actually support, you know, done even on why do we claim certain things are more moral than others.
Yeah.
And I think there should be studies done on like, you know.
Okay. Well, maybe, but that's the argument, is that you might not be able to scientifically, because there's always a start that comes from the conscious person that's deciding, for example, what's the where do I say is better or worse? What is the?
But remember that talk that we were like we were asking, okay, what is more moral, to kill a lobster or a fish than killing a dog or you know?
Well, that's a political decision. It's not.
No.
Yes.
You can make you can make a scientific.
But then where do you stop? The point where you stop is the political decision.
No, you don't. There is no stop. This is just don't give it an extra dimension. It's just
no. You don't get what I mean. For example, let's take one issue, a simple one. The how do you call it in English when you kill the baby? Abortion, right? So there's you could say, okay, let's use science to decide when we choose.
Pretty heavy, eh?
Yeah.
What?
I like turtles.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I know what Long is saying.
Can I?
Yeah, sorry.
No, because on that issue, see, but like now it's hard. We did that. We try to look at it scientifically. Okay, how many cells? Like, when does it have a nervous system? When, you know, at what point do we feel that it's bad to kill it? But then there's the scientific knowledge of how the fetus becomes a baby doesn't help you decide when to say, okay, it's right to stop now. It might help you in terms of because you already have a presupposition, like saying, okay, nervous system means it's kind of like feels pain, so maybe we stop here. But that's politics.
Yes, it's that's called like a legal defense. That's I know. I get
sure,
what you're saying,
I agree that it's hard. It's hard to like
using that against something like a legal defense. I know what you mean by that. Pinker talked about that a lot. When something new is discovered, you can feel lots of lawyers and abogados, lawyers,
lawyers,
like getting ready to use that in a court to justify something. But
because that's the way we do things, right? Like we need to have limits.
Sure,
but dude, that subject, both of you are right. You know, in that. And abortion is not a binary subject. You don't have a right choice and a wrong choice in the sense that it's so fucking complex and so over us that you can't define the subject by one data like, oh, this is the nervous system and whatever, yada, yada. But yes, but if you don't touch the thing will grow to become a living person. So
Exactly.
it's not like you can have a moral position in that subject because I think it's a totally amoral subject. It depends on the on
What do
what.
you, what is a moral subject? Because that's like to me it seems like one of the most moral areas of inquiry you might have, like, because it's the whole idea of the legitimate violence in society. That there's a point where there's legitimate violence, and when do you use it is the only problem that we have. How do we
Yeah.
decide war? When do we imprison people? When do we kill people? When do we stop you from doing something? Where does liberty stop? All of these things, like you could do, like you could do. I guess science in that realm is the tool that will help you maybe get you more educated on the thing, but then the start of that thing is always like the moral human politics. I don't think there's anything good that goes deeper than that for
Yeah,
us.
morality kinds of come from accumulated empathy, right? It's
Wait, what? Say that again.
Yeah. Say that
morality
again?
to me. It's like accumulate empathy, and there are ways to develop your empathy. Sometimes it's by fiction, and sometimes it's by data. But I think the problem with all this shit is foggy, is because you can't reduce to one. You can't have like a correct paragraph to say something true
Yeah,
about something. You can
that's life.
in a paragraph define what's the best way to approach abortion or capital punishment or playing Arma 3 with Killian. It's
That's
a really complex thing
that's
because
what I mean. It's just a political sort of idea. There's like an opinion in the end, and like, because you could say we never kill it ever. Like once the egg is fertilized, if you kill it, then it's like murder. Or you could say, well, before, if it's not born, it's not alive, so you can kill it.
yeah, that's the problem with definition of life. Like we with robots the other day. Remember, it's the problem with the definitions.
Yep.
Oh,
The
you
def-
could, if you had a definition of because, well, no, you actually don't have a problem with of definition of life. In this instance, it's more of a human life, because life, because it's alive. The sperm is alive. It's a living organism.
it's
It's a
life, maybe it's not alive, or it's a mess, dude. I won't never go to I will never have to abort because I'm a guy. So
maybe your
I hope you
wife
don't.
will. Maybe
I
the girl you're with will. That's
yes,
important.
yes. That's why I just prefer to give the opportunity of have a choice, but I can't really fathom how complex is this issue is.
Yeah. No, I
But I'm not.
definitely. I mean, I'm not. I'm not. I wouldn't be the. I hope I never have to be the one deciding that. But you also have a feeling, right? Like if you had to decide, right? If I put you in a situation, you will have to make a moral decision,
Yeah,
and
Yeah,
exactly. But then,
and it's not based in science. Well, some of it, yeah, because you are thinking, well, how developed is it, right? And then it depends on what kind of person you are that you're like.
depends on what you feel, basically. That's all.
No,
It's pretty horrible. It's
totally,
pretty
because
bad.
people tell you, oh, that thing doesn't feel anything, but if you look at it, it's shaped as a human being already, and it's moving around, and you're like,
Well, it's potentially a person. It's
but
potentially.
but you can have like a moral discourse, a moral speech, and a moral position to everything, or a political stance in everything, because some things happens. It's like because people can create like a speech about it's moral to allow your grandfather die because you are allowing uh it's killing. So it's
yeah,
Yeah.
foggy with the definition, and you can make a speech for everything that suits your ideology, and some things just happen. You can avoid them.
But what does it tie back to the discussion of? Because my whole point, I'm still on the same. Because you guys are going into the actual
No,
issue
no,
of
I know you
worship.
voted for Trump, Long. You're a Trump voter.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
French, so
your white supremacist
Just
are
like
like fuck
just
out
like
here.
Alejandro, you are
Yeah.
all misogynist, Trump voter, and racist. So I know
See,
that.
that's why we need more discussions in this
Yes,
forum.
exactly. I'm joking. I'm joking.
It's like, no,
Actually, someone told me I was a white male bigot the other day. It was awesome.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah. It was a joke, I think.
And he
I
didn't
think
know
so.
that
It
you.
could be, but I
Yeah.
think people that like that comment didn't see it as a joke.
Exactly, exactly. I saw it.
It's
It's
pretty
pretty
funny.
It was pretty funny. But see, these things we never talk about because it's much easier to do science and not think about the moral
But
problem. It's a
dude,
bigger problem than
the
scientific problems.
scientists that work with that are not robots, as you say. They also
No, I
have
know, I
ethics
know, I know, I know,
and
I know.
morals. They
Yeah,
are
yeah,
the
yeah.
first who talk about that. You have to trust a bit more people, you know.
I'm not saying, dude, what you're putting words in my mouth.
Bro.
The problem is when you get to a point where, well, maybe some of them aren't that moral. Maybe they didn't read all the classical philosophy that we've
Yeah,
built our civilization upon. Maybe, because I know some. Dude, I studied. I was in the engineering. Okay,
yeah,
there's absolutely no knowledge of any philosophy, any. It's just like technical work, and if you keep doing that, then I'm sorry, I'll use the logical fallacy again. If you think that's really a fallacy, I don't think it is. Well, you become fucking robot like, Germany.
yeah. But
Did you,
but
did you just talk about the Nazis again?
yeah, but dude, when people work in engineering, I mean, take you for example. You study engineering, but you didn't only do engineering in your life.
Way
You,
later. I changed later because I
yes,
changed my area of study.
yes, but that's why it depends of the person. You know, it's like, oh, why in art don't you go to an art school and they didn't teach you about the theory of evolution? Yeah, because I'm in an art school. It
Well,
depends.
I think there's
It
fundamentals that you
it's
need to know.
it depends. Yeah, yeah, but it depends on the place you go. You know, and in engineering you are not going to learn philosophy. Philosophy you learn as an individual,
No, you
or
should
you
have
don't.
learned that before. That's what I mean.
Yes,
It's not.
exactly.
You don't.
I'm lost, guys. You like one of you is saying that science is just a tool, right?
Just a tool.
And
Yes, that's
so
my
what's the
point.
argument? I'm not
Yeah,
understanding.
Well, because when you look at Killian started the argument last time with the deterministic uh,
yeah,
idea, and I'm against that because I don't think it's deterministic, life, reality, whatever you want, at all. Because anything that happens in our fucking world that you can't actually determine it. Maybe if you could, you prove me that you can, I'll be okay with it, and because I thought it would be true. But you can't measure the climate. For example, you can't measure every point of the air. It's too complicated. And at some point, then you have to guess. And when in that guess, that's when people come in. That's what we do all the time. We just take decisions based on our opinions, a little bit of objective knowledge that we have, but it's mostly pretty foggy, right? So
yeah.
we thought about these ideas forever. Like look at Aristotle is like 2,000 years ago.
Yes,
And you talk about logical fallacies and you're quoting Aristotle and you
but
never read it,
dude,
or maybe you did, but most people who talk in that way never read the
I
actual
never
rhetoric.
yeah,
never
I
read
get
at
it,
all.
but I don't make the connection why an old view of things is more accurate than a one that you can measure and repeat in control space. It's not necessary. It makes sense because because the pattern repeat itself. But why is more accurate? And also, when I say I'm deterministic, and I can, it's not
Hmm.
like I'm saying this is all I am. You know that I am a very foggy person, also that likes
You're a very
to
foggy person.
yes
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I like the other view of things because it's stimulating. No, I like new ideas, but and when you are wrong, when you can't measure the climate,
Yeah.
because it's too complex, it doesn't really mean that you can measure that. It only means that we are not able to do that because
Yeah,
it's too
yeah.
fucking complex.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean then
But
exactly. I know that.
that doesn't negate the idea of everything is reaction from a cause. It's like
Yeah,
it's
but
so
it
fucking.
doesn't prove anything. It's just an opinion. Because if you look at, just take that system, for example, the air, the atmosphere. Well, you might theorize that if you could measure every single particle's position and velocity and energy at any point in time, then you could model the climate perfectly. And well, apparently you can't, because there's things happening that are statistical in the atmosphere
And
that
there's chaos theory.
you can't actually measure.
Yeah.
It's quantum theory. It's actually settled science.
And chaos theory in the sense of
Yeah, it's the whole
when
idea of chaos
when a
theory.
system is too complex to measure, and like dragons will appear in the data that you didn't expect to appear.
Yes,
That-
can appear. Maybe most of the time they don't, but sometimes they do.
Yes, exactly.
So we're in that system where we might think that we could actually solve all these problems and know exactly what's going on, but right now we can't.
Yeah.
So it's actually impossible right now. So everything that we've ever done has been in a system where you actually can't determine anything, or you can't determine everything. So I don't like this idea of like, oh yeah, but in the future we'll be able, this whole God of the gaps thing. Like, we're gonna make science better and better and better all the time, but it's always gonna be bigger gaps than science. If you look at the size of the fucking universe, dude, like it's just insane.
Dude, you did a trip to the Tibet or something like that? I barely recognize you.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like, no, it's not. It didn't change anything. It's just it's more precise, I think. So then, what tool do you use? It's pragmatic. That's all. It's just, what tool do you use? Because I'd like to have this scientific tool that will help me know everything. But even if you know everything, then you still have to have your decision taken at some point. You have to decide, okay, when do I stop this? When do I kill the baby?
Yeah, it's not really the most important thing for your life. I agree with you.
It's never gonna be. Yeah, it's always gonna be a political decision.
Mr. Super Dude.
Maybe you'd have to be interested in politics then.
But you're asking me to be interested in something more rotten than the things I'm interested already.
No, I'm not talking about politics like, politicians.
Yeah.
Talking about the actual philosophy of it. It's a whole area of study, right? That we
Yeah,
might...
wasn't that called ethics or something like that?
Yeah, in part, but it's, there's history that comes in it. There's all these different fields that touch it. Even science.
I actually like that, but I don't just go to Wikipedia and read an equation and then say that's my morals. I don't work like that,
Yeah.
I care more.
Do you know how do you get your morals then?
By empathy. It's empathy.
Only by empathy?
Understanding the
so empathy is like one of the...
Yes, what dictates morals, in the sense that understanding the common ground.
What about the lack of empathy? Is it not important also?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's come in the same in the same box,
Same box. When is lack of empathy important? I don't know. I'm honestly asking.
Why? Easy, because
isn't war driven by empathy as well? Like, you're empathizing.
For example, if a jihadist comes in and makes a bomb explode, how much empathy are you gonna have for the guy who made a bomb explode and kill kids?
Obviously, I will have more empathy by the victims.
Yeah. But you
have
might
no
have
empathy, so you will have a lack of empathy for...
Yeah. You know what? You're telling me that you need context in history to make empathy works, and that's politics. Is that what you're trying to say, right?
Kind of, yeah. I guess you could kind of say it like that, and maybe...
Yeah, it's true that it's not like using one tool for everything. That's the problem with today. When people talk, they use one one word to define, like I just did with empathy. You use one word to define what makes their both work. And
Oh, I just
and
see
I,
that empathy is still like war is still you empathize with your in group more than the other one. So
yeah,
that, I mean, empathy is still part of it, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Not just a lack of it.
But you need at some points to, because if you do everything by positive empathy, let's say,
no,
then
no, no, no.
no, it's impossible, right?
Because
Like, yeah,
the line between empathy and apologetic is really fine. I know that.
Mm.
I hate being apologetic. I try to think things before doing it. I try to because something that kind of always define me is the despersonification. So I don't consider my point of view of the things like the center of the universe. I know that what I say is not the most important thing, and that
Sure.
helped me. That helped me trying to avoid being like a Kant in being like, oh, and I feel like this, so this is should be the way to be.
Yeah.
That's one of the good things of being a twin. You realize
Oh
that
yeah.
you are not important, and your point of view is not important,
you
and
could you could die, there's still be one of you.
yes,
That's
theory
not you.
it would still be yes, it's where to define me in the sense that in Death Ringers by David Cronenberg, the Mantle twins define themselves as a shared neuron system, as nervous. You know what I mean by that?
I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, it's getting pretty heavy here, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't mind. It's my.
You know, dude,
It's our
being
place. There's no
being
one watching us. We don't care. No
yes,
one's
exactly. Lawrence maybe want to us to shut up already, but
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
yeah, but dude, being a twin bullied since victim of bullied since a child, I've been like bullied like a lot when I was a kid, and being a twin and seeing how being almost the same person, but Jonathan being a different class than myself, and I being like picked upon, and he was like flourishing, gets a bit of perspective of the things about the good things and the dark things. That's why I was a gear Ian Smith told me that I try to move instead of pride, I move by honor. That is it's a good thing in the sense that the bad thing is that I don't seek things for myself.
You don't
The-
what?
Seek things for myself.
You don't seek.
So yes, that
things.
I'm more altruistic than egoistic. I don't
Yeah,
do things for
that's
myself.
pretty bad, actually.
Yes, yes, that's bad from a Darwinian point of view, and
Yeah.
it's not healthy. And something I have to try. I
No,
corrected.
it's actually a good. It could be a good strategy,
Yes,
but not always.
yes. If you could like really heavy Darwinian, you could make the case that my point is making Jonathan to flourish and carry the genes than
Exactly.
myself.
Yeah, because you don't need. Because in the end, that's all that matters. You
Yes,
don't need.
exactly.
You actually don't need to carry your own genes. If your brother does it for you, it's fine.
Yes,
That's pretty interesting.
I'm sure that there's a study about that somewhere. I'm
Yeah,
sure
I'm
about
sure.
that.
Like, there's a lot of studies on twins because
Yes,
it's one of the like psychological and scientific sort of weird
yeah,
like black hole because it's like a point of interest. You never get that elsewhere where you
yeah,
can
exactly.
replicate
Being a twin is what got me into in psychology and,
science, for
and,
instance.
and evolutionary and, ethology. Being a twin is because there are things that I made automated by myself that Jonathan made automated by himself, And when I were younger and I have a different way of seeing the world, I used to think that Jonathan and I have a psychic connection, and stuff like that because
Yeah,
we think the same stuff, sometimes even dream the same stuff, you know.
that's pretty interesting. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Then so that's one of the reasons what I personally go a bit more to the deterministic point of view of things. what you say is also good, but and I just trying to explain why I feel like that,
Yeah.
because I see
But
myself like a permutation, like Jonathan. By
then at
extension,
the
I
same
see.
time, you guys are so different.
Yeah, exactly. By time, but when we're kids, dude, there's no way
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
know
I've seen
where Killian start and Jonathan.
yeah, exactly. I've seen videos of twin kids, like, and it's just insane the
Yeah,
way they act, the way it seems magical. Pretty interesting shit.
yeah. That's
There's
the
some we'd have to do some research for the next time and find the actual studies and read it.
yeah. And it's not just my personal experience. You can ask Ancor and Jerai and
Yeah.
the other twins, and Lara and Alicia, but I think you never met them.
No,
That
yeah.
is you see a process behind the two of them that drives them. That is not just being growing the same place.
Mm.
It's not just the nature. It's it's a lot of nature in twins.
Nature.
So yes, exactly. My English sucks. That's why I'm
But
always saying 50-50. I'm not like a
yeah, it's actually a pretty healthy thing to do. Just realize that some of it is from where you live, and some of it is from where you are from
yes.
the start. And
The
then
thi-
some,
the things that it's wired into your brain, you can adapt it, control it, but you can't change it. It will stay, but you can get better going around it. For example, when we were twins, we were younger. When I was a kid, I have such a bad mood, such a bad temper.
okay.
Um, I have to. Jonathan is also have to accept that it's part of my personality, and it's not something I can override. It's something I have to work with.
You can just work with it and
Yes,
make it
exactly.
use it in a way that it doesn't break everything around you.
Exactly. And the predisposition to depression is the other one. The four brothers and my mother are like that. So you see, okay, this is like wired on me. Knowing what it is helps me to overcome it.
Yeah, then it becomes easy to not easy, but at least it becomes possible to control not control it, but at least make it
Yeah,
in a way that you still realize it's there, so you're doing something about it instead of
yeah,
just saying like, oh, you could change, oh, you could become whatever you want, which is
yeah, exactly,
totally
exactly,
impossible.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's great because when you are making that, when you are in that zone, you are more aware of it, and you go like, oh, no, 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 this is my part doing this, and you kind of control it, and you sit down, and it's not like it's not going to happen, but when it happens, you can drive yourself into a calm state.
Yeah, or maybe use it just to make something better, like use it usefully. For example, you could say, people that uh, are more empathic from from biology, let's say, you're more on the agreeable side of the psychology traits, then maybe you don't want to go into places where you have to have the opposite temperament. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like this shit, this kind of stuff. When you once you realize that there's some things that are built into you, and you're different uh, than other people, than some other people, then there's a reason why certain people can do certain things and you can't.
yeah, exactly.
Sometimes, right? It's not all the time, right? Because then it becomes, oh, I just have to. It's all deterministic. I have to follow what I am
Yeah,
from the
no,
start, right? You know what I mean? Like this interplay. But
yeah,
when you not realizing that is can be dangerous, man. Like
yes, exactly. I'm aware of my. It's a quote is like when you saw someone who he really is, he will try to get better. You know,
yeah,
I'm not like this is my problems, this is my mistakes. I'm just going to accept it and let it go. No, 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 no,
yeah,
no.
no, that's what
I
I'm saying.
have to work against it.
Mm. Yeah,
That's
you
the
have to
key.
because when you realize it, then becomes an area where you can actually do some work. And
Yeah, exactly. Because
people
otherwise,
do, like you just get to do it.
yes,
Otherwise-
otherwise you can put the blame on other people, on the circumstance.
Hmm.
That's why you have to know how do you work, because if it's like if you do the wrong evaluation, maybe you do the wrong treatment.
Exactly. You will do the wrong. Even if you have the right diagnosis, sometimes it's hard to
Yeah,
find the treatment. So if you start from a wrong diagnosis, that's what I mean. Like we usually, I feel like maybe I'm wrong, right? But I feel like everything, like a big part of what we do is based on wrong diagnosis.
yeah,
And the right diagnosis, it's not like we don't have it. It's not like it's hard to get the right diagnosis because people have been doing shit for a long time, even before we were people. And we're still here. Like it's been working pretty well. Look at the evolution of species and look at the amount of cool things that they do, even just on the animal kingdom. So it's if you get only into just human history, people have talked about things and thought about these things, even though they were, how does Dawkins call them, like sand dwelling barbarians or something?
yeah,
Even then, they still had brothers, they still had twins, they still had life happening to them. So, and people wrote shit, even though maybe you don't have like the actual scientific like data exactly. Maybe the world doesn't work like that. Actually, it works through trial and error. It works through evolution. So if you don't listen to what people have said before, they might have tried to get the right diagnosis. Then you will just think like you're an adolescent and you just, I know everything. I just found this and I know. When
yeah,
you have fucking how many thousands of generations before you that have tackled the same problems.
yeah.
Feels like I'm going a bit far, but
No, no. The first thing it should help. In my case, all that way of thinking helped me first in not feeling alone, assuming that this is normal. This is life. In the sense that um, you realize that being a teenager, being a kid, was basically turning into an asshole who repeat the same mistakes as everybody has done during fucking generations,
forever.
and believing that you are making it different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get older and you just realize that you're exactly the same as the older people.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
weird that most of the serial killers or postal shooting rampage guys are in the same age.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
like young adults.
Oh, well, you have some older.
Yes,
Because
of course.
you see some people when because you get grabbed by these things, like you have this idea and it just stays with you and you just keep repeating it. And some people can do that forever.
Yeah,
I met some people, old people, and you can tell they have the same exact ideas that when they were like in their 20s or 20, something like that. And it's
yeah,
Interesting.
it's very
Some people.
strange to me because most people that I know, the old people, they act like old people. They're conservative. They have certain views on things, and then you have some
Really?
of them that are just stay the same. It's strange.
There's a lot of old people, especially women, that are very. Um,
progressive.
What do you say?
yeah, no, it's
Aggressive?
yeah, like progressive. Yeah, like
Oh,
progressive for
progressive.
them
I
is
heard,
like.
I heard aggressive.
No, 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 no.
No, no, no.
It
It
being
feels
on.
like the way it feels like it's like they want to be cool down with the kids,
Well, yeah, that's a woman thing, right? More.
Oh,
It's
shit.
more of a woman thing
Mm.
to take care of the kids. No, does it feel like super misogynistic? What I'm just saying.
No, no, no. For,
No?
for the people that doesn't know you will think that, but no, I know you. You don't have to explain it, and nobody watched this. So.
Yes.
No, we all know you're a misogynist anyway, so it's not like.
I'm just a guy. That's all. It's how
You
can
are
you how can you not be a
Undefended.
little misogynistic if you're a god?
But Alejandro, don't you realize Long can be misogynistic because he's not a white cis male?
I'm not
So,
white, bro. I'm
so
not white.
he is from the
Fine.
minority, so
They
he
do
can't
that.
oppress anyone. He
Yeah.
is a victim. You,
Exactly. My country was colonized. I mean, my father's country, but yeah, whatever.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, the matter that mine was too, it doesn't matter either. I'm one of
Yeah,
the
well, yeah, Alejandro was. You could say he's a white
privilege.
male, but he's not.
I'm
He's
fat.
actually.
No,
No.
a lot of people say also that people from Spain aren't white because of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Al-Andalus and the Caliphate centuries
Yeah.
No,
ago.
but if we are white passing, there you go. That's it.
But you know, race is really kind of a spectrum in the sense that this terminology for ethnics, you know, and
Yeah.
some ethnics that technically you will put in another category are white in skin color. It's just a messy definition. Race, I agree that's a messy definition. It's race.
It's not. It's not. It's just when you don't know
It's
about
not
the
an
actual
It's
definition.
genetic predominant characteristic in certain groups. It's not like
Yeah,
three cards like
Yeah, yeah,
before people
but
used
yeah.
to think.
Obviously.
isn't it that like in America, you being white is different than for us being white? Like
Yes,
in
exactly.
Cuba, being white is just a skin tone thing, and because you're blonde, and you're obviously white. But in America, you can be white, but it depends where you're coming from. Like,
Yes,
oh,
America is kind of obsessed with
yeah,
ancestry.
yeah.
Ancestry is like quasi Nazi things to them, you know, like the purity of your ancestry determines what class you are and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And here's just a aesthetic color uh,
Yep.
that
Yeah, because
you.
if you go to Spain, they all look the same, but some of them are lighter. But they all
Yes,
look the
yes,
same.
it's
They all
weird.
have a beard and a lot of
It's
hair.
weird. It's weird, dude, because in Spain there's a lot of
Look like
people.
Arabs.
Yes, in Spain there's a lot of people who are racist toward Arabs, but they
Yeah,
look
Uh-huh.
Arabs because
yeah, they look exactly the same. Yeah,
you know it's a matter of
Because they are.
politics or nationality, you know, because
yeah.
this I don't like those Arabs that come here, but maybe he have the same ancestry tree of them because the Al Andalus, you know, and the Caliphates.
Yeah.
Like
That's crazy. Yeah, you guys were like you were like ISIS back then. That's so funny.
yeah, no, it was
What do you mean?
when
You know, we're ISIS.
Yeah.
back then there were the Oxford of the world, you know, when the
The
Caliphate.
actual thing
When ISIS.
that the thing that ISIS wants to become actually took Spain. That's
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
you could say it that way.
You know, when a guy I knew went to Egypt, most of the people told to him, you are Spanish. Back then, all of that belonged to us.
Exactly.
Andalus. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Uh,
Here is a lot of people who get angry when you in Spain when you say that they are like half Arab and they
Yeah.
have and I think it's a beautiful thing to know, you know, to embrace, know your past, know that.
But you should always like realize that it was also an invasion, right? So like
Yeah,
uh,
but who cares? It helps you to understand your place, you know.
oh, that's
Yeah.
why you guys have flamenco, which is fucking awesome. If you listen to it, it really sounds like Arabic music kind of.
Yes, but in Spain, the Crusades are so wired into us with the reconquering with El Cid and that stuff that people forget what they have in common with their enemy. You know,
Mm.
it's like
Yeah.
it's and even if you don't like, even if you hate Islam
But
for
why would you?
that
No.
doesn't matter. That doesn't matter because it's still past part of your history. You know, that's like you can. You have to accept that Spain means the Caliphate. Spain means Napoleon. You know, it's like it's part of your history.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta look at it and look at it really uh, with your eyes open, not just with what you want it to
Yes,
be.
exactly.
Like in here we have a lot of people, for example, on the right, the far right especially, have that very nationalistic sort of ideal of the history of the country, because it was a pretty, important country, still is, but it was like, Napoleon, and you have all the kings and all that stuff that happened, and you don't really look at the bad, sort of like the darker history, the darker side. And if you
Yes,
don't look at the darker side, then you'll make weird decisions, right? Because you'll think, oh, we're all so good.
it's
For
weird.
example, colonies and things like that. It's very interesting.
Yes, yes, it's weird how much it took to United States to talk about what the idyllic version of America, of the American dreams, and says about black people, and the slaves and equal rights and stuff like that. I know I'm sounding like a cook. I'm not a cook. I'm trying to say, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
You know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that it's for some weird reason it's like a weird taboo, because everyone wants to say that their country is it belongs to the best group, to the best tribe, and they forget everything. And here in Spain, finally, after several decades, then my current generation finally doesn't talk about Hernan Cortés like a cool guy. They talk about what the Spanish crown did in the new continent and stuff like that. Talking about middle grounds, that's what I mean with empathy. You can go like, oh, Spain have an empire where the sun never set and stuff like that. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's good. Empire by definition are bad because they're conquerors, Even if but then it's the other way side of the coin, that
and at the same time, I guess
civilizations flourish thanks for
Yeah, no,
empire.
but at the same time, empires are the ones that push shape the world as it is now, right? So
Yeah.
I think there's no point on the people that bitch about like, oh, you guys were conquerors, like blah blah blah. It's like, well, so what? Like now everyone gave back land. Like, do you still have to blame? Like, who cares? Stop living in the past.
Exactly. And anything you can try to get pride of, the Chinese did it first, so whatever.
Yeah. This is interesting idea of like the lost sort of grandeur of your country and things like that, because it comes back a lot these days, because it comes back against, kind of like what you were saying earlier, it's against the current view that's saying, for example, here in my country, like everything we did in the past is bad, like you're shit, you're horrible people, you just killed everybody and shit like that. And yeah, it might be true, but when you're in a family, because they call it the national novel, the fact that you take everything that's cool and you put it in a little book, and that's your sort of ideal of your country.
Yeah.
Kind of. Right. You need that kind of to have people stay together, because if you start being all divided, where like, oh, what we did is horrible, and then other people say, no, it was good.
Then you become Spain, dude. Where in Spain, everybody nobody votes, everybody lost their purpose because we are all a lazy bunch or jobless freaks, because we don't have a sense of
kind of pride of who you are.
The only thing that holds people together in Spain is football.
Yeah, well, that's pretty.
And look what is that it become what defines the nation. Did you realize that Spanish people hate politics and hate history, and what defines Spanish people to the world is the football team, because it's the only thing that holds them together.
That's like Portugal. At least Portugal has a lot of pride in their history, because they were actually, for such a small country, they did pretty crazy shit.
Oh, some Spaniards have pride in their history.
Yeah, but I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, unless you're like,
obviously,
oh, let's go back to it,
On the Franco side.
Yeah, I know. But I think I'm very proud of like not proud, but like
O Fidel
like,
Castro, Alejandro. You
no,
say
no,
that?
no, but
Viva Fidel! Viva Fidel!
yeah, I mean the fact that we were colonized by Spain, we cherish a lot of like Spanish traditions. You know,
Yeah.
it's part of history. We're not like, oh, fucking Spaniards, they came here and enslaved everybody. No, we're like, well, that happened.
Yeah.
Times were different, and we're glad because otherwise we'll be fucking picking fruit over here. You know,
Yes.
and now we are, you know, well, we're not like we didn't go too far, but but we're better than just
You're picking fruit in Spanish. That's something.
yeah. At least there is fruit.
You're basically an apologetic of colonialism.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm fine with.
Because you are a right wing.
No. It's not that I want it now.
No. But what Alejandro is saying is that it's
No,
the
no,
same
I'm
thing
joking.
I feel with, you know, the past history is that in the end it have nothing to do with me. It have
Exactly.
nothing to do with me as an individual.
Just take it as a fucking story, and yeah, there are echoes of it nowadays.
It still
but
makes
It's not part of.
it still makes you who you are, because
Yes, but
the culture.
it doesn't force me to be something. It doesn't have to force me to be like, oh, if I'm Spanish, I have to love the British and hate all the South America. No. If give me some context on why I like some things that I like, or why I hate some things that I hate, but it doesn't force me. You know, because there are people that go like, oh, I feel like I'm obliged to defend Spain when people piss over it, and no, not at all. They're not talking about you. You know?
yeah, I hate the like people identifying themselves like it's already your identity. It's just it's so involved with your nationality or your history. It's like
Yeah.
the people, oh, I'm from Puerto Rico or I'm Cuban or I'm Mexican and my fucking tacos. It's like, dude, fucking chill, man. It's just food, you know. Or
Yes, it's just a symbol. Forget about.
yeah,
Yeah, the symbols are important.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. It's just a symbol, but symbols are so fucking important.
They
It's,
are. Yeah.
yes. It's what we
Pretty
say.
important.
Because
Then
without symbol, how we are going to understand where the group ends and where the group is? You know what the tribe is, because otherwise it's just a lot of people. And
but then you want a group. That's saying like you gotta choose. Do you want people to be to have
so
groups?
either I guess either you kind of choose your group, or you just end up where you were born, which is kind of random, but it's still that. At least, you know, they had a saying: the state is the last thing that people have who have nothing have.
Yeah.
It's the last sort of, you know, your home. Like, you were born here,
Yeah,
you're here.
your last provider in
Your
a sense.
environment. No, it's not about providing. It's just the fact that it's a tribe. It's some sort of like artificial
Yes.
boundary of your tribe, which it's artificial, but it's not. It's also comes from evolves. Like, it's like a life form, right? You could look at it as an entity. For example, Spain, and you could go through the different eras of what it went through and what it became and all that. And I think it's important. Like, yeah, man, like, we do better bread than you motherfuckers. Like, we're better. At least our bread is
tradition.
better.
I think that kind of stuff, like culinary traditions and like there's so much cool shit about that. What I don't know, like I see people that hate their country, like in Spain, for example.
It's a national sport hating your country, but dude, they hate the country because there are fucking lot of reason for hating it. Don't forget that. Sorry, I talk too much. Keep
What were you
talking.
gonna say?
No, just explain it. I'm not Spanish.
No, but I talk like too much.
You're gonna say something about you hate people that or you don't enjoy when people will go too far or something like that. You were gonna say, Alejandro?
I lost my thought.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's not like I was gonna say anything important, really. I'm just chiming in.
No, but I want to
say
listen to it.
anything important, which
Not at all.
no. Why? Why would we
I'm just being part of the cool kids, you know. Just
No, But
Trying to sound smart and shit.
yeah, I hate groups, dude. I hate groups, and I don't care that much about liturgy, you know. But it's not. It doesn't mean that there are bad things, really. But I don't know, dude. It's in the end, and nobody knows it, so you can talk whatever you want, but you
What do
still
you know? Yeah.
well.
Yeah, well, you know, but still, I mean, I think these things are just. It's like easy tool. It's an easy tool to ground yourself in. Like people that just take it for. I mean, how do you say that? Like, people maybe that take it too literally, like this, the way, like, oh, my nationality or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
At least their life is pretty simple.
yeah,
You don't have any cognitive dissonance. You know what I mean? You don't look at it too close. Maybe they live. I don't know if it's.
it's because it's hard to think. You know, it costs a lot
Well,
for the brain to think, and it's better
you need,
to synthesize it in a concept. So
Yeah.
but as a safety measure, you also need to at least have some sort of
Balance. Come on.
kind of for your nation as a group, right? Because then who's gonna protect it, right? Like
yeah,
you're still a group of people, like that needs protection.
Because what if you
Like,
what if you
just
lose
those
it?
people that go like, I don't give a fuck about my country. It's like, well, you don't until you lose your country.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Look at Yugoslavia. A
Yeah.
breakup, and the country doesn't exist anymore. And now it's a bunch of different countries. And people who actually thought it was important, dude, it's fucking horrible. Like if you destroy my country, I mean, I'd feel horrible. If it disappeared into something else and it just, all the things that we do differently than other people just disappear, it's pretty sad.
yeah.
It's like, biological diversity. Like I'd like to still have some cool white tigers and things like that. I think it's important.
You have white tigers in your country? What the fuck? Oh, you're
No,
talking
I
about
mean,
that country.
like it's an analogy. No, we don't have that many animals.
France
Actually,
is full of white tigers in the streets.
Full of white tigers. I'm like, wait, is that Vietnam he's talking about?
no, I'm talking about France. And I think that's what's cool about all these countries is that they're different. They all have their own little weird thing going on. It's pretty cool just to watch.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter in the end. Right? It's just.
Yeah.
I mean, if you.
Yeah, I enjoy that. Like going to a country and see how they do things there, and it's different. That's awesome, right?
Yeah.
You have been in a lot of well, in a couple of countries, Alejandro. Which one will you say that it represents more home for you? Home. Not not necessarily the big picture of how the country works, but your personal experience.
Yeah, the place where I go and I feel like I'm home. That's really hard to say. Really, like I think Portugal maybe. The thing is, the thing in Cuba, it's been such a long time that I don't know. I've never been there after I left, but I think Portugal feels more like home. Like when I go there, I went there 2 years ago, and I felt like kind of relief, like, nice, I'm home. This is so cool. Yeah. And then but it's funny because I live here in Indonesia, so this place still feels like I'm an outsider, and I think it would always feel like that.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard for me to.
It's not easy. Did you realize that home or nationality is like for the people who it's rise there, but it's just a cohesion for the people who born there. I want to stay there, because if you live half of your life in Portugal and you live in Indonesia, Cuba doesn't represent that much for you.
The thing it's I don't know. I haven't thought about it too much. I just think I don't. Maybe it's just my case. I don't have. And it's something I would like to, but I just don't have. I don't have one place that I can say that's home, because, for example, I don't have childhood friends, all my childhood friends that grew up in Cuba, they left because everyone leaves the country, right? So
Yeah.
they all went to the United States or somewhere else. So even if I went back to Cuba now, I wouldn't have that connection to the place. Like, oh, your old friends from school that you can always visit. That's what people have when they grow in a country like in Paris, in France, or somewhere in Europe or whatever. Like Long can always trace back if he wants to, an old friend, right? And I don't have that. It's really hard to. It's cool to imagine it, but I don't have friends like around nearby, and that's something that I miss from Cuba, you know. And once I left, and in Portugal, then I built a little bit of it after a while, but they're not your childhood friends, right? You're already grown up, so it's always that gap there of like, oh, I don't know anyone that I grew up with.
Yeah.
And then you leave to another country, and then it's already like, well, I give up on making new friends, you know, whatever. Okay.
Seems pretty important to have that.
Yeah, I think so. I think people don't value it because they have it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool fucking thing to have like old friends and places where like the simple action of walking to like you're able now if you want to go to your primary school and take a look, you know, like old memories and shit like that. I for me it's like I would have to go to Cuba and find it, and like right now on Google Maps they don't even have it. Like it's it's fucking.
And probably
So I
if
cannot
you
even
go
do
there,
that.
it will be like
Yeah.
an empty supermarket instead.
No, Cuba is stagnated, so I'm sure it still looks probably have the same paint job. But yeah, but yeah, that's why I want to go there because I don't know how it feels like, you know, to like just go.
You haven't actually gone back.
No.
Well, see,
I will have to. Yeah.
you might have to do it because
Yep.
you'll feel it. It's like for me,
yeah.
it's interesting because I felt it a little bit in Indonesia because of all the I guess maybe it's a theory, but from all the Asian culture that I have from here, right? My father, all the people around, all that stuff. There's a lot of Southeast Asian stuff that I've lived, but I've never been there.
Yeah, but there is a connection. It's not just a theory, it's a fact because, for example, Jonathan, when he went to Barcelona, he only felt close to people from Venezuela.
Yeah.
People from Barcelona, he didn't connect as well. Because here in the Canary Island, there's a lot of people who come from Venezuela, and Venezuela is called the La Octava Isla, the 8th island.
Closer to you.
Yes, there are a lot of heritage for them, you know. So there in the work in Winco, he connected faster with Venezuelan guys than with the Spanish guys. You know, so it makes total sense that you feel more in tuned in with the people in Indonesia than maybe if you go to Greek. I don't know.
Yeah, well, then it's fucking important.
Yeah.
Because if I go to, like, then why would I have more relationships with people like this that I don't feel like there's any connection compared to some other people that I feel there's connection? It's quite important.
Yeah, but
you better look at it. Like, what are these connections? What can you do? Because it's pretty cool when you feel like you're in a not home, but at least safe space.
Yes, in a safe place, in a safe spot. Okay, you are talking with them.
Safe space.
You are not triggered.
Yeah, it's not.
Joking.
It just feels like it's not the way we think. Maybe because look at for example, I've never been to Africa, but I know a lot. Like I had a lot of friends from school and the random friends that come from Africa. They're Africans, different countries.
Okay.
And Lawrence is here, he can tell you, but I don't know anyone from South Africa. More like the French, the old French colony. And they're pretty cool. They're pretty, they have something that I really recognize and I like. So I'd like to go there. I want to see, because it's a part of our history, right? Like there's a lot of people from Africa in here, and there's a lot of people from here there. So instead of just going with Estonia, you know,
Yeah.
that commemorates the Waffen SS. Oh, logical fallacy again.
Dude, have you ever been in Vietnam?
No, I haven't had the money yet to go,
Ooh.
or the
Good.
time.
Every time he has the money, he comes here.
Yeah, because this fucker.
I keep telling him to come.
You are thinking going to Vietnam, maybe, or
Yeah, sure. Yeah, whenever I can.
Dude, next time you come here, you know,
Yeah,
jump,
let's go.
fly.
We can go vacation.
Let's do
2
it.
weeks.
Yeah.
it's weird, dude, to be from Canary Island, which is a small island in Tenerife. It's a small
Mm.
island in a group of 7 in the middle of the coast of Africa, in almost nowhere. You are raised to be a Spanish guy, supposing that you are Spanish.
Mhm.
You don't connect with Spain culture at all,
Yeah.
and you also don't connect with the local culture of Tenerife, and you feel that there is not a place for you. I don't have that
It's
sense.
weird.
Yes, I don't have that sense of belonging, of home.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I feel like an outsider in Tenerife, and I live
Guys,
all my life in
I'll
Tenerife.
cut you. I'll cut you just for a second because apparently the sharing doesn't work right now, so we can just stop the broadcast because it doesn't do anything. So I'll just stop it. We can keep talking.